Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to NWC Tonight, featuring some of the hottest wrestling action found anywhere online. And folks, I know it's been a few weeks since our last broadcast, but hopefully this upcoming announcement will make it worth the wait, because this isn't just any episode of NWC Tonight. No, folks, we are on the verge of the second ever NWC Supercard event. I present to you NWC Critical Mass. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, one night will not contain all the action we have on tap, neither will two. This will be back to back to back 3 evenings of entertainment, of bone-splitting, knuckle-bruising action here at the National Wrestling Council. This is going to be the largest event of its type held anywhere, and we cannot wait to bring it to you. But ladies and gentlemen, this sort of action does not happen all at once. This does not happen without intense preparation, which means that the next 3 episodes of NWC Tonight are going to be devoted to doing everything necessary to put the pieces in place for this climactic event. Because, folks, this is going to be something that is unprecedented in online eFed wrestling. NWC Tonight is going to be seeing the champions of NWCW, PWA, and INCW all clashing to become the undisputed NWC champion. Yes, after 2 seasons of featuring 4 world caliber titles here on our programming, we are going to be having one spectacular event to unify them all. That means that the reigning, defending INCW champion, PWA champion, and NWCW champion will compete with the reigning, defending NWC World Champion in a massive unification event. And folks, while that may be our destination, it's going to take a lot to get us there, because the legacies of PWA, NWCW, and INCW deserve to be celebrated. So if these championships are going to be defended for the last time, if these amazing legacies are going to be folded into the NWC World title, each of these championship belts deserves to make sure that the correct representative is defending that title for the last time. And with that in mind, beginning this evening, we're going to be seeing a series of matches to see these amazing world caliber titles defended in singles competition one final time. This evening, on tonight's broadcast, we will be seeing 4 men go at it in a 4-man elimination battle royal, with the winner being the man to take on Rhett Holiday next week in the final singles PWA championship match ever. And that's not that's not to say we don't have exciting action here this evening, because in tonight's main event, we will be seeing the reigning, defending NWCW champion take on an old rival, as Average Joe, the reigning champion, takes on his arch rival, the War Master. This has been a match 4.5 years in the making, and I cannot wait to see this action. Folks, this is going to be an amazing night of action. We have not 1, not 6, not 10, but 12 exciting bouts. Almost 3 hours of bell-to-bell action in front of you. Why so long? Why so much? Because NWC Critical Mass is that massive. It's going to take that much in order to get our chess pieces on the board and in the appropriate places for this epic encounter. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us head to ringside for our first bout. And what a contest we have for you, folks. Our opening bout is going to be mixed tag team action. Yes, the Mixed Tag Team Championships, formerly the PWA Tag Team Championships, currently being held by Chris Knight and Danica Rabin. That is a hotly contested pair of titles. And tonight we're going to see two teams try to put themselves one step closer to contention for those tremendous belts. We have Miss Tiffany and Big Tony of La Familia taking on the very interesting duo of War and the son of the Viking, Thorkel. These two have not teamed together, but thematically they have a lot in common, and we'll see if this unlikely pairing can will be successful against this veteran team of La Familia. Of course, Miss Tiffany, the Don of La Familia, of course the boss, leading Big Tony and Little Anthony. Big Tony, of course, a former INCW champion, one of the most physically massive men in the history of INCW. This is a very potent duo. Look at that. Big Tony's so large, his head not even fitting on the screen there. And Miss Tiffany, as always, leading her man, directing the big bull of an Italian there, Big Tony, her instrument of destruction. No doubt Miss Tiffany would love to see those PWA mixed tag titles brought into the fold. And heading down to ringside now, we have not seen this individual in quite some time. A bit of a return here for an INCW veteran champion. War, of course, is who I'm talking about here. This absolutely amazing competitor has been to the top of the mountain before. Had an absolutely climactic feud with Nikki Wilde in the second to the last season of INCW, and she has made appearances here in NWC on more than one occasion, but has taken a lengthy leave of absence, and you can see here she's come back in just tremendous shape. The looming supercard Critical Mass no doubt is going to draw a lot of veterans of all of our various organizations back into the fold, as everyone wants to be part of history here, of the largest scale supercard event in E-Fed history by a lot of metrics. War, of course, just an absolutely amazing competitor who desires nothing more than to face the very best of the best of the best, and she is looking to cement her legacy as an NWC mainstay, and no better way to do that than tonight defeating the veteran team of La Familia. And of course, she will be teaming tonight with someone who is new to us this season, but his legacy is certainly well known. Of course, I'm talking about War's tag team partner this evening, the son of the legendary Viking, and that is Thorkel. Thorkel, an incredibly potent competitor, has had just an absolutely stellar showing. He lost his very first, charted his very first loss just a week ago in an incredibly hard-fought match against the veteran Bokrug. But he certainly did more than make a solid accounting of himself. Thorkel is an absolutely incredible performer with just blue chip, skill radiating off of him. He has all of the tools to be a world champion in any division he finds himself in. And he is a dynamic and captivating competitor. A really good match here for War. Hopefully the two of these amazing competitors will be able to find that synergy necessary to take it to the next level and perhaps put themselves in a position to face off against a team the caliber of Chris Knight and Danica Rabin. Bell has rung, and we are underway for the first time in a few weeks here in NWC as we prepare for Critical Mass. Look at that. Immediately, War sends Miss Tiffany over the top rope. Thorkel, very enthusiastic. Thought he might have been ready to take a swing there at the boss. Look at that. Just a huge, rude throw from War to Miss Tiffany. Tiffany going to go ahead and take a powder. Discretion is the better part of valor. Tags in her bodyguard, her man, her team's muscle in Big Tony. But instantly, Thorkel just making short work of him. A pair of vicious DDTs. And tags War back in. Tiffany is not going to get away from the action quite that easy, but takes the long way around. A surprise clothesline takes War down, but War answers back with a throwing German suplex deep into her own corner. Miss Tiffany is going to need to pull out the big guns quickly. And there we go. Speak of the devil, a big knee shiver to the back of the head. Miss Tiffany once again showing why she has had such a successful in-ring history here in INCW and in NWC. Arm drag takes War down and follows with another big-time knee, going for the pin. Quick 2 count. I think War was taken off guard by that vicious knee strike. And Tiffany sticking with what has been successful. Series of knees to the head, temple, jaw area of War. And tags back out to Big Tony. Shoulder block goes nowhere. Tony sending Thorkel to the ropes. Comes off with a beautiful power slam, taking advantage of all 370 pounds of Italian frame there. Tags back out. The women are back in. And as of yet, Miss Tiffany has not found a formula for handling War. I don't know that any competitor in the history of this division has. War with a series of knee lifts into the solar plexus, the breadbasket of Tiffany. Follows up with a T-bone style suplex, sends her flying across the ring. War controlling her opponent, sending her into her corner. And what is this? Turns her upside down, ties her up in a tree of woe right in the corner, deciding what she wants to do with her, and ends up with just pushing her foot straight into the jaw of Miss Tiffany. And follows up, sends her into that turnbuckle one more time. This time, though, Tiffany ready for her. Forearm takes her out and follows it up with another one of those explosive knees, and she definitely needs to make a tag. Tags in Big Tony, and under mixed tag rules, that means Thorkel is in as well. Thorkel going for that patented cross body block that has been so effective for him. Sends Tony outside the ring. And what's he doing here? Oh, it looks like he was considering going over the top there. And would you look at that? War not giving him any choice. Grabs Big Tony, throws him right back into the ring. Tony, though, still a lot of fight in him. Drops Thorkel face first on that top turnbuckle. And what's he doing? Picks him up. Walks him to the middle of the ring. Sidewalk backbreaker. Follows it up with a second one. And just dumps Thorkel like a bag of trash. Look at the strength of this huge Sicilian. Picks up Thorkel high into the air and drops him stomach first from a height of about 9 feet in the air. Goes for a pinfall. Thorkel able to get out of it, but definitely is feeling the effects. Tony unloading on him. And remember, folks, Big Tony, while he may not always get the respect that he deserves, he is a massive, nearly 7-foot-tall individual, and, not for nothing, a former INCW champion. The women back in, and look at that, takes the legs out from underneath. Miss Tiffany, War goes for the pin. Referee in bad position, though, only able to get a 1 count. Oh, and outside the ring, would you look at that? Big-time sidewalk slam as Thorkel taken out of the equation. Big punch. A series of punches. Oh, my goodness. A series of right hands and left hands rocking the world of Miss Tiffany. And just a strength-based throw just sends her by the head and hair across the ring. Bounces off the ropes. Shoulder-to-shoulder collision. Nobody moves. And double arm suplex takes Miss Tiffany down. War just looking absolutely top shelf here. Her absence has not resulted in any sort of measurable ring rust, as she is just beating Miss Tiffany pillar to post. Sends her into the friendly corner. Friendly is a relative term in a match like this. Oh, and Tiffany able to fight her way out. Miss Tiffany, a brawler who can handle it, who can throw soup bones with the best of them. And, just a face crusher, running face crusher by Miss Tiffany, and she tags out to the big man of the family. There we go, big time cross body block, takes Big Tony out of his shoes. Thorkel has seen a lot of success with that maneuver. And he is going to the middle rope. Middle rope with a double axe handle to the heart of Big Tony. Goes for the pin right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, and Tony able to get a shoulder up. But definitely he is feeling that. I think Miss Tiffany was taken by surprise there. Attempted to make a save at the last second, but thankfully Tony able to get that shoulder up. Tony throws Thorkel by his red beard across the ring. Goes for a big elbow drop, but hits nothing but canvas. Thorkel long gone by that point. But it doesn't matter to Tony, and look at that. Sidewalk slam to the son of the Viking. And Big Tony has him up. Going to take the long walk back to his corner. Manages to put him in that turnbuckle. And what is this? Oh my goodness. Massive inverted Alabama slam. Oh no. Thorkel trying to make his way to the outside there. Luckily, though, a tag made by Big Tony. Don't know if that was in his best interest. That would have been a good time to attempt a pinfall. But it looks like the family may have themselves a strategy. Big Tony with the Viking, with Thorkel injured outside the ring. That is nobody to help War, but perhaps this is backfiring because War is beating the heck out of Miss Tiffany, and Tony is otherwise occupied. Shoulder to shoulder, nothing doing. The women are the only ones in this ring. The men are outside handling their own business, but that means there is nobody to break up a pinfall if one of these two manage to score a pin. Look at that. Huge throwing suplex goes for pin. 1, 2, and 3. The family's strategy backfired. Big Tony was too busy handling Thorkel outside the ring, was not able to protect his boss, and look at that. A fisherman-style throwing suplex was all she wrote. War looking fantastic in her return bout has pinned Miss Tiffany, and this duo, I'm not quite sure what we should call them. The warmongers, the warriors, the Viking experience. Oh well, no, let's not do that. What an amazing duo, though, regardless of what you label them. These two are amazing here, and who knows, perhaps this is the start of something big. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to our second bout of the evening. It is Jasmine Blade taking on Selena Sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, this should be a tremendous bout. Jasmine Blade, of course, she sort of reinvented herself with this fantastic new patriotic gear that she has. Had one of the matches of her life taking on Victoria Prime just last week. Just an absolutely inspired bout here. And Jasmine Blade, maybe she's found the thing that has kept her from achieving the success that we all envisioned her having. This newfound patriotism, this love of her country, has really allowed her to reach the next level. Now, while she was not able to overcome Victoria on that night, the incredible energy that she got from the crowd and from this new gear of hers, hopefully that will translate to success here tonight. And she's going to need that, because the person that she is facing is someone who has seen quite a bit of success here in NWC since its inception. Selena Sharp, who is the daughter of Wyatt 5 o'clock Sharp, a journeyman from PWA, saw herself within a hair's breadth, as they say, of defeating the White Rabbit Nikki Wilde and earning herself the INCW Women's Championship. It was quite a journey for this amazing young rookie. And she is definitely looking to continue to make her mark, continue to make strides, because she wants to see herself back in that winner's circle again. She saw herself rise to fame very quickly. And now that she's had a chance to settle into the division, she wants to make sure that she is seen as one of the people to watch, one of the women to watch here in this very, very competitive division. Both of these women, Jasmine Blade and Selena Sharp, need a win. They want to notch their belt and put themselves in line for Anna Sokolov's INCW Championship. Blade looking like $1 million, just absolutely cut from iron there. Jasmine Blade starting off strong, and would you look at that? Up in the air, slammed face first to the mat. First move of the match is a finisher caliber maneuver, a glam slam. Wow, that was almost all she wrote. Selena Sharp able to get a shoulder up, and Selena Sharp has recovered a little bit there. Dragon, screw, leg whip, and begins to go to work on Jasmine Blade on the ground. Sharp with a big right hand, a big open-handed slap to the stars and bars, as it were. Both women to the outside, leverage-based throw, using her own momentum against her. Jasmine Blade definitely feeling this opening flurry from Selena Sharp. Big-time kick takes the patriotic one down. Blade again gets hit in the heart by a flying elbow drop from the sizable Selena Sharp. Selena knows how to use every bit of her weight to her advantage. She's an extremely athletic woman. Despite her size there, she's incredibly quick and agile and able to utilize that weight of hers to great effect in the ring. And of course, Jasmine Blade, no asterisks needed when describing her physical attributes. She is built with Amazonian strength. She is tall, she is strong, she is cut like a diamond, as they say. And would you look at that, a huge, big-time clothesline takes Selena Sharp down. Again, Jasmine Blade seems to have reinvented herself with this new patriotic look, and the enthusiasm she brings to the ring is noticeable. Would you look at that, snake eyes right on the hardest part of the ring, Selena Sharp. And, oh my goodness, Jasmine Blade, tremendous strength, huge gorilla press on the second-generation superstar. And drops her face and stomach first on the mat outside. Jasmine Blade is in charge. Selena Sharp is in trouble. And look at that. Flexing those guns. Follows up with a stomp. Despite Blade's patriotic appearance, she is more than willing to do whatever it takes and get as dirty as she needs to in order to get a victory. She has seen too many opportunities slip between her fingers because she was the bigger person, because she tried to fight above board. She knows that she's going to have to do whatever it takes in order to achieve victory. Sharp, though, not done yet. Blade sends her sprawling into the ring. And a big face breaker right on the knee, and Jasmine, look at that, she's saying this is all finished. What's she going to do? Sends Sharp to the ropes. Big elbow right to the jaw. Oh my goodness. Comes off the ropes. Big time splash. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Kick out by Sharp, but that did not have a lot behind it. I thought that was it, ladies and gentlemen. I thought Blade had her. Another face breaker. Sharp manages to roll out of the ring, though. But Blade is not going to let, oh goodness, not going to let that go. Big time headbutt takes Selena Sharp down. And Jasmine Blade feeling it, letting the crowd know that she has this well in hand. A big time Patriot clothesline. Blade sends Sharp right into the barricade. But Sharp comes back with a kick to the gut that just floors Jasmine Blade. And slams her by the hair straight into the mat. Wow, that's going to take a lot out of her. Sends her back, dazed, into the ring. Could this be it? Sharp off the top, big-time missile drop kick. Jasmine Blade is reeling, but she blocks. Oh, blocks. Oh, my goodness, look at this exchange. A block by Blade, a block by Sharp. Attempted crucifix slams Jasmine headfirst into the ground. And another hard elbow takes Sharp down. And a kick does not allow Blade to push her advantage. What is Selena Sharp doing? Selena Sharp gets backdropped over that top rope, sent crashing to the floor. And Blade follows up with a beautiful elbow drop. Textbook elbow drop on the floor right in front of the NWC Nation. And once again, Jasmine Blade flexing her patriotic guns, using that confidence that sometimes seems to have eluded her in recent weeks. What's this? Oh my goodness! Senton elbow drop combination from the ring apron to the floor. And Selena Sharp definitely hurting. Jasmine Blade heading back into the ring, again, ready to take a win by whatever means necessary. Nothing against the rules here. She is standing there and allowing that referee to count, to do his job, forcing Selena. Oh, would you look at that? Heads back out, breaks the count. Look at that. Perhaps Jasmine Blade is trying to make a point here to be wrestling in an upfront and an upstanding way. That has cost her in the past. Oh my goodness, if you can call smashing someone head first into a ring post an upstanding way to wrestle. Look at this here. Picks her up. And Sharp able to worm her way out. Flips Jasmine from behind. Jasmine may be regretting not taking that count-out victory, but she does seem to have something to prove in this new identity of hers. Kick to the gut by Selena Sharp goes for pin. 1, 2, and Blade manages a kick-out, a forceful kick-out at 2. But at this point, Selena Sharp has the advantage. Big-time attack from Sharp. Clothesline, second clothesline. Leg lariat. And a stomp for good measure. Oh, but a big-time Mafia-style kick right to the face of Selena Sharp. Sharp is out, ladies and gentlemen. Going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Jasmine Blade with that massive Mafia kick right to the jaw of Selena Sharp secures her first victory under this new patriotic persona. This has got to make her feel good, as these women in this division are staring down Critical Mass and its inevitable INCW women's title shot. You know that all these women are jockeying for position. Tremendous work from both these women, and a congratulations to Jasmine Blade. Just absolutely fantastic work from a fantastic competitor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading to singles action, and folks, this is a very interesting match. We have the proprietor of Bayou Pro Wrestling taking on one half of Reckless Love, Titus Love, in singles competition. What an unusual and unlikely match. Folks, let's take you to ringside and we'll talk a bit about how this came to be. Now, folks, this match came about in a very interesting way. Now, as you know, Daryl Forge is not a normal week-to-week competitor here in NWC or in BPW, and we had no idea he was going to be wrestling this evening. As it turns out, he has offered Titus Love an opportunity at the BPW Men's Championship. All he has to do is beat, in Forge's own words, a BPW original. And now it looks like his plan has come to fruition here. Forge himself is getting in the ring. He is largely retired these days, but Lord knows this man has a tremendous pedigree, both as a brawler and an in-ring grappler. He helped define a generation with his mat-based tactics before translating that over into success in the hardcore division and sort of redefining what hardcore wrestling could be about. And he has decided on his own to get back in the ring. This may be more about him deciding he wants to test himself against the current crop of NWC competitors. And if that is his goal, he could have picked a lot worse competitors to go against than Titus Love if he really wants to see what's out there. Because Love, for all of his antics, is an incredibly accomplished singles competitor. He is a fundamentally sound mat technician with a long and decorated amateur background. And you can forgive him for seeming a bit confused here as he's walking to the ring, not engaging in many of his normal antics. Of course, his wife Cynthia Love not here with him tonight. His whole reason for approaching Daryl Forge backstage was really because he was stewing over his loss of the tag team championships to Chris Knight and Danica Raven, and certainly in the doghouse with his wife Cynthia. And he probably sees this as an opportunity to bring gold back to his family and clear his name to his sometimes demanding wife. So this should be a fantastic encounter, folks. I will have to see what Mr. Forge can do, because it's been a while since he's been a full-time grappler. Oh my goodness, and look at that. Titus Love beginning with a beautiful flipping axe kick. Oh man, he is starting off strong. I think that Titus Love here is not in any position here to take Forge lightly. He is determined to make the most of this opportunity. My goodness, he is a house of fire, just taking it to the proprietor, the owner of BPW. Look at that, just going to work on that shoulder. Now I'll remind you that Daryl Forge, the butcher, Daryl Forge is a very decorated competitor. Those of us here in NWC who may have only been looking at the national wrestling scene may not be aware of all that Mr. Forge has done regionally. Look at that flying crossbody, gets a 1 count. Daryl Forge is a very, very accomplished grappler. He started out as a much more mat-based grappler and then evolved over the course of his career into the hardcore icon that he is known as these days. Look at that. Forge to the top. Big flying elbow drop to the heart of Titus Love. That is a lot for a man of his years. Again, Daryl Forge, mostly retired. He has the sheer toll that his extreme style has taken on his body prompted him to leave day-to-day competition, but it looks as if here at NWC he's looking to rekindle that flame. Look at that beautiful leg work there by Titus Love. Sends Daryl Forge, sends the Butcher over nose over toes there, and look at that there, Titus. Oh my goodness, big cross body block to one half of Reckless Love. Grabs a handful of hair and just slams him headfirst into the ground. Forge looking fantastic. We haven't seen him in the ring in a couple of years here, and look at that. He looks to be in absolutely tremendous shape. You know, I mentioned that as we approach critical mass, I suspected that we'd be seeing a lot of competitors from the history of these organizations coming out of the woodwork. This is only the beginning, folks. We're going to see a lot of returning talent over the course of the next 2 weeks or so. And while Daryl Forge and the BPW is not a charter member of the National Wrestling Council, we do have a working agreement with that organization right now. And by the way, that is something worth mentioning. As we mentioned, the main event of Critical Mass is going to be a unification match that will see the PWA, INCW, and Northwest Championship Wrestling titles all folded into the NWC World Championship, leaving only one belt representing this organization in day-to-day operations. You'll notice that Bayou Pro Wrestling's belt is not included in that. As we said, the National Wrestling Council is made up primarily of those three entities. Bayou Pro Wrestling, while in partnership with the NWC, much like the Wild Wrestling Academy, both of those organizations have not yet fully signed their entire libraries and identities over to NWC. They are affiliate companies with a good working relationship, but not yet in a position to have their titles defended on NWC television. That is why Axel Funk, while he is the BPW men's champion and has been recognized as such, has not been defending his title, at least as of yet. That could change very soon, folks. Oh, and would you look at that, another flying cross body to Titus Love. Goodness, so far Love has done a tremendous job of curtailing Forge's attacks here. and preventing him from getting a ton of momentum. But Daryl Forge is a strong, fast, skilled individual, and the longer this match goes and the more this spends outside the ring, the more this is going to play into the hands of Daryl Forge. The Butcher is a patient man, and you can never, ever, as long as his shoulders haven't been put to the mat, you can never count him out. Titus Love back inside the ring. Forge going for a pin. 1, 2, and Love gets a shoulder up. Daryl is going to have to work very hard to keep this man down. Oh, look at that. Was going for a victory roll, but Titus Love absolutely stuffed it. And look here, Forge, with a huge shot to the stomach. And goes right to the eyes, follows it up with a crossbody. That's some of that extreme work ethic, some of that hardcore wrestling. Oh, but Titus Love still got the wherewithal to land a solid clothesline and slow things back down. Goes for a neck lock right in the middle of the ring. And again, don't forget, folks, Daryl Forge, he is not his company's premier representative. He is management at this point. Axel Funkt is the men's champion of BPW, and it is that title that Titus Love will have an opportunity at if he can manage to get past the owner himself. Big belly-to-belly suplex on the Butcher. Titus Love attempting to parlay that into an advantage, but Butcher able to get him up and drops him throat first over that top rope. Goes for a pin. 1, 2, and Titus Love gets a shoulder up. Daryl Forge is an expert of using every piece of that ring to his advantage. Titus Love, he is going to be seeing his greatest opportunity of success if he can keep this in the ring, keep this mat-based, keep working his submission game, of course his finisher, Till Death Do Us Part, a triangle chokehold that has taken out many a competitor all across the NWC. Titus trying to work his way to his feet, has had his bell rung a little bit. Big right hand, and just stunners him right over that top rope, sends him flying to the outside. Titus Love may be injured out there, ladies and gentlemen. And what in the world is the Butcher doing? He's on the top rope. Titus does not see him. He's getting to his feet, but what is going on here? Big time clubbing forearm to the outside. The Butcher is definitely feeling in his element tonight. But Love still with a lot of fight left in him. Beautiful, athletic, flipping neckbreaker. I've said it before, I think that pound for pound, Titus Love may be the best pure athlete in all of the NWC. Extremely athletic, acrobatic, precision perfect, and you can see it right there. Beautiful 360-degree cartwheel by Titus Love as he slammed to the floor. Ouch. Daryl Forge outside the ring, not giving Love a chance to get back to his feet, but gave Love a chance to get back to his feet. Sends Forge in as Titus Love is trying to regroup, trying to figure out a new angle to attack this man from. Oh, but he eats a series of chops, but manages to block that last one. Kick to the stomach, and a second flipping neck breaker right in the middle of the ring. Oh, and he follows it with a beautiful right knee straight to the temple. And another beautiful belly-to-belly suplex, and this time it's Forge who has to take a powder. But look at that! Oh, he was playing possum, hit around the side of the corner, came back out with a flying crossbody, took the former tag team champion out of his shoes, and slows things down with a chin lock outside the ring. Look at the veins and the sinew. Look at the muscles in the shoulders and pectoral region of Daryl Forge. Despite his advanced years, he is in incredible shape. Of course, that isn't to say that he's too old to be performing. He's only a man in his 40s, but at the same time, it's not the they say it's not the years, it's the mileage, and certainly the amount of the damage that he's put on himself in his career in this hardcore business definitely puts him in a different category than Titus Love. Love catches Forge in a crossface there, but it is in the ropes. Very good ring awareness by Daryl Forge. But look at that, just slams the Butcher back of the head first into the mat. And Titus now going to work on the body extremities. Titus Love, an extremely proficient mat-based wrestler who can wear you down in a variety of ways. And look at that here. Love with a knee drop straight to the bicep of the Butcher, Daryl Forge. And look at that. Walks him through a fisherman buster, and Titus Love is measuring the owner of BPW, and look at that. Till death do us part. Struggling, but Forge able to get a foot hooked in the ropes. That could have been it for him if he wasn't able to do that. Titus going for a pin, though. This time Forge is not able to grab that rope, but he does get a shoulder up, and Titus is not happy about that. He thinks that should have been a 3 count. Forge blocks a chop, goes for a punch, and look at that Manhattan drop right to the twig and berries, and goes right for the forehead of... Oh, look at that, folks. I believe that may have that knuckle arrow may have broken the skin. Titus is bleeding, and what is this? A vertebraker of sorts. Goodness, just dropped Titus Love straight on his head. 2 and 3. Would you look at that? Titus Love gave it his all, but the Butcher, Daryl Forge, with just an absolutely brutal neck-breaking maneuver, he took out the former champion. What amazing work here by this ring veteran who shows that he still has a ton of fight left in him. What does the future hold for Daryl Forge? Well, only time will tell. But as Critical Mass looms, we know we'll be watching. And now, folks, we head over to our women's division, where we see a very impressive-looking exhibition match between the one half of the PWA Tag Team Champions, Danica Raybon, taking on the gigantic INCW veteran, Rose Winters. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Danica Raybon has had one heck of a run here in NWC. She started in INCW originally as a referee, but of course before that she had quite the career as the Phantom Queen in Bayou Pro Wrestling. A shade of her own personality, a persona that she's able to put on during times of great stress and need, and we saw that aspect of her come out last season as she was involved in a tremendous feud with the matriarch of the Wild family, Alyssa Wild. That led those two all the way to full effect, where they competed in a solid steel Bayou Pro Wrestling cage match that saw the Phantom Queen reemerge as she defeated Alyssa Wild. And ever since then, Danica Raybon has been on one heck of a roll. She has put her old persona back to bed again, but that has not stopped her winning ways as she has captured the mixed tag titles with Chris Ketch Knight. You can see she's wearing that beautiful tag team championship around her waist. Tonight, though, she'll be involved in singles competition, and she'll be taking on a gigantic challenge, no pun intended, because we have quite a few very large competitors in our women's division, perhaps none larger than Rose Winters. This woman is an impressive specimen who you cannot truly appreciate the size of until you see her in the ring staring across from an opponent. Coming down to ringside now, we have the one and only Rose Winters. And you know, with gigantic women like El Vittore and Kira Shika on the roster, it could be that Rose feels that she needs to really prove herself and remind the world who the original giantess of NWC is. And again, tipping the scales at somewhere nearing the 300-pound mark and standing nearly 7 feet in height. This is one of the largest female athletes in all of professional sports, wrestling or otherwise. And not only is she large, she is proficient at utilizing her size and her strength along with some surprising agility to really maximize her effectiveness in the ring. She's not always the most refined competitor. Sometimes her maneuvers are a little bit on the clumsy side, and faster, more agile opponents have been able to take advantage of that. But it is going to be one heck of a mountain for Danica to climb this evening if she wants to maintain her winning ways. Look at that. Immediately Danica going with a series of strikes, cuts the giant down to size, and a big stomp to the back of the neck. Not a lot that size can do to protect the nape of the neck. Just watch Attack on Titan, ladies and gentlemen. And look at that big stomp to the back of Danica Raben. Again, goes back to the strikes. Comes off the ropes, goes for an Ase moonsault, but Winters nowhere to be found. And a basement dropkick right to the back of the neck. Danica is going to need to stick and move here. Look at that, just shrugs off a dropkick and slams all of her weight on the face and chest of Raben. This could be it right away. Wow, Raben, a 1 count. You can tell there that Raben wanted to make sure she didn't want to lose the mental game there. She did not want to be seen as being weak for a second. Got that shoulder up immediately. Big drop kick to the back of Danica Raben. And look at this, Rose Winters is fired up, and would you look at that tilt-a-whirl backstabber on the nearly 7-foot-tall statuesque form of Rose Winters. Flipping maneuver there, not a moonsault, but some sort of moonsault senton, and not even a full 1 count there. Oh my goodness, again, Danica trying high-risk maneuvers, but not bearing fruit. Rose Winters, series of right hands, and follows it up with a left kick to the side of the head. Danica Raben cannot go toe-to-toe with this woman. Raben slides to the outside to try to get some perspective as Winters steps over the top rope. And oh my goodness, has her up, and look at that, Danica fighting for her life, manages to escape that powerbomb and lands a solid drop kick to the chest of Rose Winters. And sends the big woman into the ring, attempting once again to utilize that rope, but Winters too fast, has her up, slams her spine first, and just dumps her like a load of trash, goes for the pin. 1, 2, not a 1 count this time. Danica needs to change her tactic. Rose Winters, she cannot go toe-to-toe with a woman of this size and power level. Oh my goodness, teardrop-style side suplex. Takes Danica down. Danica ducks under, though, using her speed. Comes through with a Harlem side kick, but oh my goodness, barely phases the big woman, and there you go. Danica manages to take her over with a leverage-based hold using her own size and momentum against her, but still not enough to take down the large and in charge Rose Winters. But Danica up to the top. What's she going to do here? Oh my goodness, manages to send her body flying to the outside, but Rose able to sidestep it. And now back inside the ring. Raben may have destroyed her ankle in that maneuver. But Raben, look at this. What's this here? Has her up. Oh my! Kubi driver! Goes for the pin. 1! And only a 1 count. That was a signature move of Raben's, ladies and gentlemen. She has finished matches with that maneuver. But Rose didn't even get her a 2 count. Would you look at that? Has her tied up like a pretzel. Curb stomps her jaw first into the mat, and immediately Winters is back to her feet. Raben with a big knee to her jaw, trying to find some sort of formula for keeping this giant down. But every attack that she gets on her, big-time flying maneuver, goes for a very unique pin, has her hooked. but gets a kick out. Rose Winters, no matter what Danica does, Rose is determined to kick out. What kind of punishment is she going to have to dish out in order to keep this large woman down? Working on the limbs, that might be a good place to start. Stomping on the extremities. Oh my, flying, twisting axe kick to the kidney area. And goes for another Harlem sidekick, it looks like, but Winters just powers out of it. And just the biggest bulldog that I have ever seen takes Danica straight down to the mat. Going for a kick to the stomach there, but Danica able to fight her way out of it. Spins her around and manages just a vicious-looking clothesline. And goes for a choke on the ground. You can see a little bit of that Phantom Queen coming out of her. There is a dark side to this woman's personality that she tries her best to hide, but now and again, it comes bubbling to the surface. Danica with a series of kicks. Oh, and she's taunting Winters, taunting her, daring her to take a swing at her. And another big side kick. Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at that. Oh, whoa, suckered her in. Kick to the stomach. Enziguri to the back of the head. That's what Raven was doing. She was trying to get Rose to take a swing at her. What is this? It looks as if, well, I was going to say Danica was poised to do some damage in some sort of flying maneuver, but she's thought better of it. She is stumbling a little bit. She's definitely a bit the worse for wear out here. Sends Winters back into the ring. What's she going to try to do here? Would you look at that? Another Kuvi driver! Second one right into the mat. But Raven is not going for a pin. She knows it's going to take more than that. But Winters, kick to the stomach, kicks her away. Raven puts her on the ropes there, but gets elbowed away. Nothing that she does is having any lasting effect. Going for the limbs. Sends Winters to the corner. Big kick, and what is this? Going to the top here. Split-legged moonsault style maneuver. Is that going to be enough to take out Winters? What is Raven doing here? Getting some maneuvering, and oh my goodness, what is this? Death Bird Splash from the top. 1, 2, and oh my goodness, able to kick out. Not many women have been able to do that. Rose Winters kicking out of the Deathbird, and Danica is beside herself, not sure exactly what she's going to have to do. Tries to start tying her up. Looks like we're going for another curb stomp. Trying to put her out. Big curb stomp takes her jaw first into the ground. But again, Winters still fighting her way out. Kicks Danica away. Winters to her feet. Kicking at the prone form of Danica Raven, has that leg, begins working on that leg. They're trying to knot up that quadricep, picks her up. What's she going to do? Big time punch, measuring her, kicks, oh, but goodness, Raven able to fight her way out. Big forearm, elbowed out of it. Winters goes for something, misses entirely. Raven, desperation kick, takes Winters down. Up to the top rope one more time. Long range Death Bird goes for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Your tag team champion, Danica Raven, able to get the win in this David versus Goliath match. My goodness, it took 2 Death Birds in a row to get the job done. One long range one at the end at that. What an amazing match, folks. Danica Raven showing why she's at the very top of this women's division. And Rose Winters, certainly no slouch, came very, very close to putting the champion away. Your winner this evening, Danica Raven. We cannot wait to see what she and her tag team partner do as they approach Critical Mass. And now, folks, we go back to our men's division. Yes, in this exhibition match, we are going to be seeing the INCW champion Gordon Ramsay taking on the one and only Junior Cobra. Now, as far as why this match is taking place, we can chalk this one up to ego, ladies and gentlemen. Gordon Ramsay has been a very vocal man lately. He has let not only Damian Black, but KB Chronic know that he is interested in proving to the world that he is the greatest INCW champion that there ever was. In fact, it was his use of the meal ticket, the briefcase held by the Diners Club that guaranteed a title shot, that prompted this entire title unification situation as it is. Gordon Ramsay is, in fact, going to get his chance to go for Damian Black's NWC Championship. He's going to get a chance to unify all of these belts and become the grand champion of them all. So this was all Gordon Ramsay's doing, folks. He's holding that meal ticket up, letting folks know that he is very excited to be the man to set all of this into motion. And he'll be taking on tonight what he is considering to be suitable competition to remind the world of just where he stands here in this division and in this company. And he's going to be taking on a multi-time tag team champion, former light heavyweight champion in multiple organizations, the former Derek Arzon champion, the less said about that the better, the enigmatic Junior Cobra. He may not have the greatest win-loss record here in NWC, but trust him when he says that he is a legend in the making. Now, regarding Gordon Ramsay, some might ask why, with him holding that meal ticket with a guaranteed shot at Damian Black, should he feel insulted that now suddenly some other champions are going to be added to this match? Well, on one hand, Gordon Ramsay will now get the chance to unify all of the heavyweight men's titles in this company. On the other hand, Gordon Ramsay, because of his meal ticket, is guaranteed to be in that final match, which means that unlike the rest of the champions, he will not need to defend that title against anyone on his way to Critical Mass. So while the PWA Championship, while the NWC Championship, while the NWCW Championship will all need to be defended at least one more time before Critical Mass, Gordon Ramsay and the INCW Championship are heading straight to Critical Mass with no more defense necessary. So that means that his meal ticket did, in fact, get him all the way to that final dance. This match we have here is a non-title exhibition match, and it is purely one that Gordon Ramsay insisted on being on. Although, to be honest, with what's happening with Junior Cobra now, Gordon may be regretting that. Look at that, going for a pin here. One count only, but since the ringing of this bell, Junior Cobra has been on fire. Gordon, though, manages to get Junior Cobra by the back of the neck. A kick to the legs there. Has him up. Oh, big time chop. And look at that. He is working with the skills that brought him to the dance. He is picking apart the limbs of Junior Cobra. Limb by limb, as they say. All softening him up for that calamari lock. Gordon sends the Cold Snake to the corner. Taking his time, following up. And slams him head first into that top turnbuckle. Once, and then follows up with a vicious European uppercut and a series of stomps into that corner. Now, Gordon does, in fact, outweigh Junior Cobra by about 60 pounds, but Cobra has felled giants in the past, so this isn't as much of a mismatch as it seems. Elbow to the jaw of Gordon Ramsay, follows it up with a punch. And what's this here? He got him picked up over the shoulder, drops him throat first over the top rope, and look at that. Junior Cobra posing for the crowd. Oh, but you cannot take Gordon Ramsay lightly, ever. And look at that, Gordon posing for the crowd in his own way as well. The Mad Chef heading to the top rope. Poised, waiting for Cobra to take to his feet. Cobra does not see him. Big time drop kick takes the Cold Snake down. Gordon goes for the pin. Only a one count. Junior Cobra, lots of fight left in him in this exhibition match. What's Ramsay doing? He's measuring his man. Goes for a punch, but Cobra able to fight his way out of it. Leaps over that top rope right into the waiting arms of the Mad Chef. Goes to the turnbuckle, or goes to the ropes. Drop toe hold, face first on the ground. Cobra able to roll out of the way and lands a code breaker style double knees to the face. And look at this, Cobra trying to fire the crowd up, but should not take his eyes off the prize. Gordon Ramsay has him, sends him into the corner. European uppercut into the corner. And what is this? Sends him into the middle of the ring. Series of attacks, punches, kicks, drops him to his knees, and goes to work on those extremities one more time. Gordon Ramsay, the Mad Chef, with the recipe for disaster. And what is he doing here? Folks, could this be it? He's calling for it. Chef's kiss right in the center of the ring. And Ramsay now measuring Junior Cobra. How is he going to finish him off? Look, oh my! Folks, that was the snake bite using Junior Cobra's own finisher against him. 1, 2, 3. That is an exclamation point. Gordon Ramsay showing the world that it doesn't matter whether or not he has a golden ticket to the main event of Critical Mass. It doesn't matter whether or not he has a guaranteed shot at all the marbles. He is still going to take every opportunity to prove to the world, to remind the world of just who Gordon Ramsay is and what he can do. Amazing work by the Mad Chef, by the reigning INCW champion, by the holder of the Diners Club meal ticket. Critical Mass looms in his future and a chance at winning it all. And now, ladies and gentlemen, talking about high-stakes matchups, we have Anna Sokolov in a non-title match against Kira Shika. Now, as for how this match came to be, that is quite a story, ladies and gentlemen. As Kira Shika makes her way to the ring, I will do my best to tell the tale. Earlier in this season, there was a match to determine the number one contender to Anna Sokolov's INCW Championship, a belt that she won at Full Effect from the White Rabbit. That match, by the way, that number one contenders match, was won by Kira Shika, and the following week, Anna Sokolov showed up in the center of the ring ready to take on her opponent one-on-one in what would have been her first title defense, and Kira Shika did not show up. Anna was left in the ring by herself, and backstage a note was found that said, "Now is not the time." And ever since then, Kira Shika was missing in action from NWC. She no-showed events. She was completely off the radar. No one knew what happened to her. Anna Sokolov went on to defend her title several times in a series of high-profile matches, and then eventually, when Victoria Prime won the chance to face Anna Sokolov one-on-one for the title, Anna did not make it to the ring. She was attacked backstage by Kira Shika, who absolutely brutalized her, and then through some sort of camera trickery, found herself in the ring where she brutalized Victoria Prime as well. So last week, Kira Shika attacked both Anna Sokolov and her number one contender, left them both laying. Now, she gave up her opportunity at a world title shot. So the NWC Championship Committee is not about to hand her a second one right away. What they have done, however, is offered her this opportunity today to face Anna Sokolov one-on-one in a singles match with no title on the line. Now, as I am told, if Kira Shika is able to overcome Anna Sokolov tonight, then she will get an opportunity at Anna Sokolov's championship. She will earn another shot at that championship, making the inevitable battle between Victoria Prime and Anna Sokolov a triple threat match. If she loses tonight, though, then she has to step aside and allow the match between Victoria Prime and Anna Sokolov to take place. The future of the women's division is on the line in this match. We will see if the Siberian Cyborg can weather the storm of the Voodoo Priestess herself in this highly anticipated matchup. Look at that! Immediately, Kira Shika goes after Anna, but Anna, waiting for her, manages to get her into a leg bar. Kira Shika throws Anna away, and this is not the first David and Goliath match we have seen. Looking at this size discrepancy, I am reminded of the match between Rose Winters and Danica Rabin. Although to compare anyone to Kira Shika is a disservice to the sheer intimidation factor that this gigantic woman brings. Oh my goodness, a huge splash into the corner, followed by an attempted clothesline, but Anna manages to get out of the way at the last second. gets around, amateur-style takedown, rides her opponent down, goes for a quick pinfall, hooks the leg. Just a 1 count, though. I think there's some mind games there by Anna. I don't think Anna had any illusions that was going to take down Kiyoshika, but she's letting her know that Kiyoshika is now in an entirely different division. Now, Kiyoshika, it stands to mention here, ever since joining NWC, has remained completely undefeated. She has faced off against 5 other women in a 6-pack Battle Royal Challenge, which she came out of victorious. And since then, her matches have consisted of backstage brawls and just bludgeonings in the ring with no referee present. So in a lot of ways, she's still a little bit on the untested side. Now, that is, of course, only in NWC. Where Hiroshika really cut her teeth was in Bayou Pro Wrestling, where she has a tremendous rivalry that brewed for several seasons with Victoria Prime. These two women cannot stand each other. They are polar opposites, diametrically opposed. And it is still not known whether Kiyoshika's attack on Anna Sokolov and Victoria had more to do with Victoria Prime than it did with Anna Sokolov. Anna has found herself in the middle of a blood feud, not of her making, but that doesn't matter to the cyborg. All she needs to know is that Kiyoshika has disrespected her and her championship, and tonight is Anna's chance to remind Kiyoshika of exactly who the Siberian cyborg is. Goes for another pin, and again, just a 1 count. It's going to take a lot to take this woman from the swamps down. Headbutt goes nowhere. I can't say that it's ever a good idea to clash heads with a Sokolov of any sort. Speaking of Sokolovs, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to keep an eye out later on in this evening's broadcast, because while Anna Sokolov is an absolute terror in the women's division, that is not the only Sokolov with a history here in NWC and its affiliate companies. Keep your eyes peeled, folks, because an important announcement will be happening very shortly involving potentially a different Sokolov. And would you look at that, series of kicks does not take Kiyoshika down. And Kiyoshika headlock right into a shot straight to the throat of Anna Sokolov. I believe that was an open palm shot to the throat. And Sokolov putting a bit of distance between her and Kiyoshika. Not typical running orders for the cyborg there. But Anna, though, manages to elbow her way out of a Samoan drop style situation. Rides her using her amateur skills. Follows it up with a knee to the jaw. And a series of kicks to the solar plexus. Anna Sokolov absolutely accounting for herself. But unable to make headway. Kiyoshika with a big kick to the side of the head. Sends Sokolov back into the ring. And Kiyoshika now taking some time, putting some distance between her and the women's champion. Playing a bit of mind games. Oh, and look at that, a choke. Follows it up with a pump handle. Power slam right in the middle of the ring. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, and Anna Sokolov able to get a shoulder up. But Kiyoshika is not done. She's measuring her. What's this here? Has her up by the throat and slams her down just absolutely into oblivion. 1, 2, and Anna Sokolov able to get a shoulder up. Nobody has ever kicked out of that. Ladies and gentlemen, Kiyoshika is 7 feet tall. No one has kicked out of that huge slam. My goodness, big splash from the top rope. But Sokolov back to her feet, takes the leg out from underneath Kiyoshika, trying to soften her up for the cold snap. And Sokolov sends Kiyoshika to the right into the referee. And Shika able to, oh my goodness, just like that though, Anna Sokolov rolls through with an ankle lock. And could this be it? That ankle being softened up all match long, and Anna Sokolov really looking to torque that. Kiyoshika flailing, but not giving it up. Not giving it up. A kick to the side of the head. That ankle lock of Anna Sokolov's has ended many matches, ladies and gentlemen. big-time Russian uppercut. And managed to take Kiyoshika up and over. Interesting arm lock there, but Kiyoshika able to muscle her way out of it with a series of right hands. When you're that tall, oh my goodness, tremendous amount of leverage there that adds torque to any maneuver. What is this? Kiyoshika poised on the middle rope. Oh, a kick to the side of the face. Follows it up with an axe handle, comes off the ropes. And a big splash, a near 300-pound splash on the women's champion. Follows it with just a throttling chokehold on the ground. And Sokolov wisely manages to roll her way to the outside. So, it is hard to ever say that Anna Sokolov has met her physical match. And, ladies and gentlemen, it bears mentioning that Sokolov just last week was absolutely brutalized in the backstage area, beaten within an inch of her life, with tables, chairs thrown hard onto a concrete surface. Kiyoshika was absolutely vicious, and it is now only a week later that Anna Sokolov has put herself in harm's way in this match. Sokolov cannot be at 100%, folks, so the fact that she is fighting Kiyoshika toe-to-toe like she is incredibly impressive. Sokolov kick to the gut, and would you look at that, managed to pick the heel and just torquing that heel over. Not quite the cold snap, but definitely a submission-worthy maneuver. And Kiyoshika sends Sokolov to the ropes. Wow, that is the largest backdrop I have ever seen. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Oh my goodness, the wind was knocked completely out of the Siberian Cyborg. Launched 10 feet straight in the air with that huge backdrop. Came down flat on her back. Wind completely knocked out of her. And your winner is Kiyoshika. Wow, folks, I didn't think that was going to happen, at least not like that. But that means, ladies and gentlemen, that Kiyoshika is now added to the match against Victoria Prime. The next time we see that title defended, it will be with Kiyoshika and Victoria in the match. Goodness gracious, that is going to be an absolutely terrifying encounter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of terrifying encounters, in a lot of ways we're going to be echoing that last match, because look at this, folks. Speaking of returns, INCW veteran Tapu Khan in an exhibition match against the NWC World Champion Damian Black. Folks, this was a surprise even to me. Damian Black issued on social media, he issued an open challenge. As all of these competitors are looking to defend their titles in the coming weeks, Damian Black knew how vital it was to remind the world of exactly what his championship represents. Damian Black is the reigning, defending NWC World Champion, so he said any wrestling superstar from any company, past or present, he will face them one-on-one in an exhibition match. And who answered that call but INCW veteran Tapu Khan. Tapu Khan, folks, has not been seen in an NWC ring. He left the company, left INCW retired alongside several other INCW originals. We did not think that we would see him again. A loyal soldier of KB Chronic, but here tonight, under these circumstances, he has shown up. And if he can show up, folks, what does that mean for the future? Who else may we see in these coming weeks? Goodness, look at the size of this man. In much the same way that Kiyoshika is a truly awe-inspiring figure in the women's division, Tapu Khan is absolutely the same in the men's division. And look at this, the man who needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. This, folks, is Angel Face Damian Black. He has held almost every championship that there is to hold. He has fought in the NWCW. He has fought in Pro Wrestling Shaft. He founded the Prestige Wrestling Association. He is the founder and owner of that company. He has fought in Northwest Championship Wrestling. He has fought since day one here in NWC. When we say he is a world champion with a world champion's pedigree, he is that in spades. He is the definition of the territorial champion, defending titles all around the world, and he may do so as NWC champion for the last time in the next couple of weeks, because much like all of our other champions, he will need to defend his title one more time in a one-on-one match just to make it to Critical Mass. Bell is rung, and we are underway in a match that we never thought that we would see again. Tapu Khan taking on Damian Black. Khan comes off with a headbutt, but catches nothing but mat. Folks, this is surreal. This is a night of returns, and this is absolutely amazing here to see the savage Tapu Khan in an NWC ring. I did not think I would ever see it happen. And again, if Tapu is here, could his brother be here as well? If they are here, what about other INCW veterans who we have not yet seen make the jump to NWC? What about KB Chronic himself? We all know that Gorgon Ramsay has been itching for a fight, and while we saw KB Chronic in an amazing match, which is reported to be the culmination of his retirement tour just a week ago in BCW, who knows what the future can hold as we prepare for NWC Critical Mass. All bets are off. Everything is on the table, as evidenced by this encounter. And would you look at this here? Picks up Damian Black. Massive vertical suplex walking around the ring with him. Oh, look at that. Goes one-handed, drops him in the center of the ring. Now, as far as Damian Black goes, much like Gorgon Ramsay, Damian Black volunteered for this encounter. And unlike Gorgon Ramsay, though, Damian Black is not guaranteed to make it to Critical Mass. Ramsay has that meal ticket, which the NWC Championship Committee has deemed gets him an automatic advancement into that multi-man match. But Damian Black, much like our other champions, will have to defend his NWC Championship against suitable competition at least one more time. Now, what if, just to speculate here, what if Damian Black is taxed in this match worse than he thinks he's going to be? What if Tapu Khan is able to injure the Angel Face here and lessen his likelihood of being able to ably defend his championship? What if Damian Black, because he chose to take this match, does not even make it to Critical Mass? It is a possibility. In fact, it's a likelihood when you see a man of this size. But Black is a fighting champion, so he is determined to make a go of it, even if he gives up 60 to 70 pounds in a match like this. Would you look at that? Outside the ring, power slam straight to the mat. Damian Black, though, coming back strong, fighting hard. Tapu Khan has Black up. What's he going to do? Powerbomb! And whips him around shoulder first right into the hardest part of the ring. Oh, my goodness. And a shoulder butt straight to the shoulder there of Damian Black. Oh, no. Black, though, not about to let it get him down, throws Tapu Khan down. Khan with a kick to the gut and sends Black careening to the other side of the ring. Heads back into the ring. Oh, could you imagine how embarrassing it would be for Damian Black if Black was counted out here, lost this match? What is going on here? What is Tapu Khan looking to do? Khan over the top turnbuckle, huge clothesline over the turnbuckle, over the steps, smashes Black into the ground. And Khan has him up in a gorilla press and blasts him straight through the barricade. Damian Black went spine first through the barricade outside the ring. Oh my God! Khan sends Black flying across the ring, and folks, this may have been a mistake. This may have been a miscalculation, a rare miss by Damian Black. Black is broken in half outside the ring, and Khan has barely broken a sweat. Oh no! But Black's still in this thing. Throws Khan to the ropes. Managed to hit him with a drop toe hold. Rolls him over. Goes for a quick pin. Don't think this is going to get what he intends. 2 count, and Khan gets a shoulder up. Definitely got a lot of fight left in him. Black, though, sends him to the ropes. Ducks underneath. Goes for a second drop toe hold, but Khan just too powerful. Just shrugs his way through it. And look at that. Catches him. Headbutt right to the crown. You do not headbutt a Samoan, that's for sure. Sends him to the ropes. Big time power slam goes for the pin. Is this it for the champion? 1, 2. And Damian Black gets a shoulder up. Tell you what, though, Tapu Khan is here to fight. He is not playing around. Big body slam to the founder, owner, creator of Prestige Wrestling Association. Big headbutt. Smashes skull to skull contact. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. And folks, I thought that was it. Damian Black got his shoulder up at a 2.9. Black now very wisely rolling to the outside, doing what he can to try to regroup himself. Swinging neckbreaker on the floor by Tapu Khan. And Black comes out with a big clothesline, showing that he's still in this fight. Kick to the pectoral region, followed by a stomp to the back of the shoulder. And gets him in an arm bar outside the ring. I don't really know if Damian Black cares if they both get counted out, because he would take that. Now, speaking of count outs, another thing to keep in mind about Damian Black, folks, is that Damian Black this entire season has been fighting from a deficit. As a man who is unaccustomed to losing, he has found himself on the receiving end of some unfortunate referee calls, some questionable losses, but Damian Black has not secured a win as champion this season. He has had 3 losses due to countouts, due to disqualifications, and while it has not impacted his title reign, you have to wonder if Damian Black might, if the pressure of being champion might be getting to him. Because Damian Black is not accustomed to dropping a fall, and this season has seen him through hook or crook lose more matches than he has lost in the last 3 combined years. Does that mean we could be ripe to see a title change sooner rather than later? Has Damian Black's card been played? We will find out soon. And again, Tapu Khan letting all that blood rush to Damian Black's head as he parades him around the ring. One arm, my goodness, what incredible strength from this INCW veteran. But Black fires back with a flying forearm, attempts to follow up with an elbow, but gets one in his jaw for his troubles. Black kicks Tapu Khan away and begins going to work on the back of the head, on the throat, trying to slow things down, trying to negate that explosive power that Tapu Khan has. Big kick to the side of the head. And, swatted away, though. Swatted away. Going to Charlie horse that leg. Huge clothesline. 300-plus pounds colliding like a freight train into our world champion. And a flying splash, just exploding the ribs, the solar plex, the pectoral muscles of angel face Damian Black. Black might be regretting getting into this match, but meets him in the middle of the ring with a big forearm. Still firing on all cylinders, and angel suplex right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 by Tapu Khan. Amazing, though, Damian Black with the wherewithal to nail that angel suplex. Starts working on that leg. Oh, look at this. Black going to the high rent district, top rope. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Khan slowly making it to his feet. And a big-time flying clothesline by the world champion. Damian Black working on Khan. Series of strikes, punches, chops. Sends Khan to the ropes. Drop, toe hold. Sends him face first right into the mat. and again goes back to work on that leg. Damian Black is the most technically sound competitor that I can think of here in all of NWC. Working his arm around and a kick to the ribs. Damian Black building that momentum. And would you look at that sleeper hold? Damian Black, famous for his sleeper hold. He has won many championships with this match. It is a finisher of his, really. And look at that. Is Tapu Khan fading? He is just a little too far away from the ropes. But jacks the jaw of the champion. Has him, sends him to the ropes, pulls him back into a clothesline. Tapu Khan is in control of this thing, folks. For all of Damian Black's attempts to build some momentum, it is Khan's match to win at this point. And I don't know what his championship aspirations are, but you have to think that a victory over Damian Black here, over this world champion, even if it is in a non-title situation, would do wonders for whatever moves Khan wants to make in the future. Khan on the top rope, what is he doing here? What is going on? Tapu Khan, big time clothesline. Goes to work on Black, but Black sweeps the leg, sends the back of Tapu Khan's head crashing into the mat. Sends Khan into the ring. Does Damian Black have an end game in mind? Goes for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Oh my goodness. Tapu Khan was doing extremely well, folks. I have to think that when he was outside the ring, as Damian Black swept his leg, I mentioned it before, his back definitely, or the back of his head definitely smashed into that. Let's see if we can get another look at it, folks. Let's see here. He was working on, and yes, folks, the back of Tapu Khan's skull collided with the floor there. That must have rung his bell because he rolled in the ring and he did not get up. A lucky break for Damian Black. An absolutely awe-inspiring challenge in front of him, and he has survived, though. Tapu Khan, wonderful to see him back. Damian Black, as dominant as always. We look forward to seeing what Critical Mass holds for the NWC champion. And now, folks, we have a very interesting matchup. We have Nikki Wilde taking on Giggles the Clown. Now, it's very interesting here. Nikki Wilde saw Giggles wrestle last week and noticed that her gimmick, her whole persona, reminded her a little bit of her own White Rabbit persona, a persona that she was forced to abandon when some unknown party seems to have stolen all of her gear, and every attempt to get it replaced has seen a similar thing happen. Her any sort of gear that she gets that is reminiscent of her White Rabbit attire seems to go suddenly missing. And while Nikki originally was thinking that the person responsible must be Evelyn Sin, as FU was feuding with Sanctum, despite the fact that their feud has concluded, she still has been unable to get this monkey off of her back, and now she's beginning to doubt just who might have originally been responsible. And I think she's looking to take some of her frustrations out on this young lady who seems to be seeing success using a gimmick that at least in Nikki's own mind reminds her a bit of her own better days. That is not to say, of course, that there's anything derivative about Giggles the Clown. Giggles has been an absolutely phenomenal competitor in the very short amount of time that she's been here in NWC. Last week, she gave El Vittore her very first singles loss, overcoming the gigantic competitor there, and she definitely has her own style, and definitely brings a very fun and unique flair to her matches, much to the chagrin of Nikki, who would love to slap that paint straight off of her face and show her what it means to struggle without the comfort of an alter ego, as it were. So this should be a very interesting match against this rising star taking on the veteran and former INCW Women's Champion, Nikki Wilde, trying to reclaim her mojo. Referee rings the bell and we are underway. Nikki with, oh, look at that. Giggles swatting Nikki away. And look at that. Beautiful slam. Tremendous power there. Referee caught off guard. Was definitely out of position there. That should have been a 1 count, at least a 2 maybe. Perhaps a 2. Giggles putting a knee into the back of Nikki Wilde and letting Nikki know that she is not at all intimidated by the championship pedigree that she brings to the ring. But a big kick off the ropes goes for pin. 1 count. Nikki letting Giggles know that she cannot afford to sleep on Wilde family credentials. Nikki with a Grecoplex sends Giggles tumbling to the corner of the ring. And look at that, a disrespectful slap from Nikki, followed by a sharp elbow drop. And a kick to the spine. Giggles taking a powder, heading outside the ring, but Nikki not giving her any breathing room. Suicide dive between the ropes takes Giggles down. And Nikki just trash-talking her outside the ring. You can hear her saying she's not all that, but, well, whatever that means. And look at this here. Nikki just continuing the assault outside the ring. Just pounding into her out by the barricade. Fists right into that painted face of Giggles. Kick to the stomach. Nikki follows through with a Nikki kick right to the crown. Heads back in the ring. Nikki more than happy with getting a count-out victory. Would love to humiliate Giggles out there. Telling the referee to count faster, in fact. Giggles, though, managing to fight her way back into the ring. Catches Nikki off guard. Inverted DDT. As the youngest member of the Wilde family reeling. Double arm suplex. Drops her into oh my goodness, that was a variation of Oliver Sin's Black Cross. Oh, goes for a moonsault, misses entirely, but manages to recover. Nikki sends her to the ropes. Ducks underneath. Leapfrogs over. And shoulder-to-shoulder collision. No one going anywhere but Giggles with a beautiful head scissors takeover. Takes the former White Rabbit down. But Nikki firing back. Look at that. My goodness. Backbreaker into a Russian leg sweep. Showing the fundamentals that her family is known for. Nikki has Giggles working on that neck of hers. Cranking that neck, slowing things down. And then slams the back of her head into the mat. Nikki is none too happy to be put in this position. Definitely out of sorts, off her game, and seeing someone else having the kind of success, the very kind of success that she misses having here in NWC. Enziguri takes Nikki's head off. Giggles coming off the ropes. And a head scissors DDT slams Nikki head first into the ground. And drops both of her feet into the solar plexus. And look at that beautiful maneuver. I don't even know what to call that, ladies and gentlemen. Giggles using tremendous agility. Basement drop kick to the side of the skull of the Punk Princess. Look at this. Flips over the top rope. Collides with Nikki Wilde outside the ring. Smashes her down. And outside the ring, Nikki, tries to catch the foot, but gets caught with an enziguri right in the back of the head. And flipping over, really, honestly, I can see it now, folks. This assault, this high-octane, high-impact assault is kind of reminiscent of what Nikki Wilde delivered as the White Rabbit. But, of course, Giggles doing it her own way. Tremendous acrobatic abilities here. Giggles has her up. Power bomb, double-arm power bomb, showing off tremendous strength. Giggles sends Nikki into the barricade. Nikki delivers one of her own and then sends Giggles cascading across the mat. And Nikki is going to say discretion is the better part of valor, once again trying to get back into the ring, trying to gain a count-out victory over the very game, very skilled, very talented Giggles the Clown. But no go. Giggles back in the ring, fighting strong. Oh, and look at that huge face buster by Giggles. And follows it up with a series of strikes. But Nikki elbows her way out, doesn't let Giggles take control of the match. And follows through with a Nikki kick We call that a bunny kick in the previous generation, and that is it. Nikki Wilde manages to take out Giggles, and folks, that came as a shock to me. Giggles the Clown just with a tremendous offense, and then out of nowhere, bunny kick right to the jaw. And your winner for the first time in a while, Nikki Wilde, has managed to get this monkey off her back at least for one night. Scores a victory over the very, very talented, very potent Giggles the Clown in a shock. I might even call this an upset, given the way that this match was going. So, folks, tremendous work from ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure what's going on here. You're seeing what I'm seeing. It looks like some sort of strange moire on the screen. It looks like a television. What in the world, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know what I'm seeing in the ring. In the ring, it looks as if Nikki Wilde is being assaulted by, for lack of a better term, by the White Rabbit. Whoever it is that has been assaulting, that has been stealing Nikki's gear, appears to have shown up dressed as a literal White Rabbit, and she is taking it to Nikki Wilde. A series of kicks takes down the youngest member of the Wilde family, and I am beside myself, folks. I don't know what this means. Oh, look at that! Oh my goodness, huge Pele kick takes down Nikki. Ladies and gentlemen, this is unprecedented. The White Rabbit is destroying Nikki Wilde in the ring. My goodness, I don't know what this means or what the future holds here. It looks as if whoever it is that was responsible for taking Nikki's gear has just turned this up to the next level. Folks, your guess is as good as mine. We'll have to see where this goes from here. But for now, folks, we're going to have to switch gears. We have another contest for you here. From our men's division, we have singles competition. We'll be seeing Giant Anaconda taking on the enigmatic Wrestler X. It's going to take a little bit of time to unpack what we saw there in the ring with Nikki Wilde and the White Rabbit, but I can confirm that the ring has been cleared for our next bout. And what an interesting bout this is going to be. Over the last few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, Wrestler X has really began to make a name for himself, utilizing a very precise technical style that sees him it seems to invite comparisons to other similar technical wrestlers. We'd like to figure out what the identity of this strange masked man is, but as of right now, that identity has remained shrouded in mystery. Wrestler X has taken on a variety of opponents, and tonight he's going to see himself tested in a way that he has not yet been as he takes on the tremendously large and powerful Giant Anaconda. Of course, the tag team partner of Junior Cobra, who we saw face off against Gordon Ramsay earlier today. But again, Wrestler X, he has come upon the scene with very little fanfare. He just showed up and began winning matches. Every time we've seen Wrestler X in the ring, it has been a technical showcase. So it'll be very interesting to see how his career continues to progress as we try to figure out who this masked man might be. Of course, there have been some folks speculating, looking at stars from the past who are no longer on the current roster. Wrestler X certainly does have his fan following here, though, as you can see a lot of signs with his trademark X in the crowd out there. Wrestler X certainly really showing himself to be a top-shelf opponent, just looking for that opportunity to ascend to that next level. And he seems more than willing to bide his time, let his skills do his talking for him. He has otherwise remained completely silent as he puts on technical showcase after technical showcase. Will he be able to notch another victory in his belt today? Only time will tell. Again, Giant Anaconda, a very accomplished individual, very large, very powerful, with a... oh my goodness, just like that, Wrestler X stops the big man cold with a huge drop kick right to the solar plexus. That'll knock the wind out of anybody. Used all of Giant Anaconda's momentum against him. Leverage-based throw takes the big man down. And Wrestler X quickly dropping Giant Anaconda on his head with a sharp DDT. Anaconda, though, still very large, kicks away Wrestler X's attempts at attack, but cannot avoid. Oh my goodness! Look at that, Wrestler X with just paintbrushing Giant Anaconda, just rubbing his face there in the mat. You don't see people taking Giant Anaconda lightly very often. Wrestler X with a shot to the kidneys and a second one as well. He excels at cutting his opponents down to size. Wrestler X with a precision elbow drop right to the sternum. Follows up with a stomp straight to the shoulder. And a stomp to the wrist. Giant Anaconda so far having a very difficult time getting out the blocks, while Wrestler X is really making a technical showcase of this match in the early goings. Anaconda sends X to the ropes, though, misses him as he comes back, unable to capitalize. But Anaconda comes back with a series of strikes. And Anaconda has him up and drops him face first on the turnbuckle cover. Goes for the pin, though. Only a 1 count so far. One thing about Giant Anaconda, you can't sleep on this man's power. It does not take too many maneuvers to even a playing field. Look at this big-time headbutt right to the crown of Wrestler X. Anaconda has asserted himself, and with only a few simple moves, has taken the lead in this young contest. Outside the ring, the Wrestler X taking it to the big man, knocks him down at ringside. And look at this, he is taunting him. It's like he's really making a point of trying to win the psychological game against the larger of the Cold Snakes. Anaconda helps his man to his feet and heads back into the ring, daring Wrestler X to meet him within the confines of the ropes, and delivers a huge belly-to-back suplex, followed by another headbutt right to the top of Wrestler X's mask. And while I cannot speak for Wrestler X, I know that Giant Anaconda has long been rumored to load that mask, making his headbutts especially deadly. Giant Anaconda stalking his opponent. Wrestler X attempts a spinning elbow, but Anaconda dodges it, sends X to the corner and levels him with a headbutt again. Giant Anaconda slowly building up some momentum here, and would you look at that, heading to the top rope with a big-time elbow drop right to the sternum of Wrestler X, and Giant Anaconda keeping this, matching his pace, his slow and deliberate pace. Stomp straight to the top of the head. Picks Wrestler X up and begins with a nerve pinch right to that trapezius muscle. Again, keeping things slow, favoring the deliberate, power-based style of the big man. Wrestler X has Anaconda from behind, and an inverted facebuster back of the head smashing against the mat. Tries to follow it up with a elbow drop, but gets kicked right in the face by Anaconda. Giant Anaconda, big stomp to the solar plexus of the masked man, and now goes to work on that arm and the leg as well. Anaconda is working on the limbs of Wrestler X. Giant Anaconda now, what's he doing? Shoulder block takes Wrestler X off the apron to the floor below and sends Wrestler X back in. Wrestler X is going to have to try to put something together here. The big man is running away with it. Goes for a big elbow drop, but X out of the way. Russian leg sweep, textbook, beautiful Russian leg sweep, takes the big man down. I keep trying to watch Wrestler X to see if I can detect where his fighting style is coming from, figure out if this might be a wrestler that we know from the past. Big sharp DDT to the crown of Giant Anaconda. And look at that. Turns a neck breaker into a face buster right on his knee. Clothesline. Comes back with a second clothesline. Catches the foot, spins around, sweeps the leg. And Wrestler X is feeling the momentum. Rolls Anaconda over, goes for pinfall. 1, 2, and Anaconda barely gets a shoulder up. Very impressive match so far. Once again, a showcase for the technical skills of Wrestler X and the awe-inspiring power. Now, that is interesting, folks. That taunt looks very familiar to me. Not sure if you're picking up what I'm seeing here. Big headbutt by Giant Anaconda to the head of Wrestler X. But X, not to be denied, throws Anaconda out over the top, manages to land a right hand and another one rocking the big man, and a third takes him down, and he follows Giant Anaconda out to the floor. Anaconda sent back in, not given one moment to recover outside the ring. But Anaconda comes back, glancing blow with the headbutt, but really quickly Wrestler X able to wrap Anaconda up in a very familiar finishing hold there. But unfortunately for him, Anaconda too close to the ropes, uses the leverage to get out. Anaconda, House of Fire, big backdrop to Wrestler X. And a massive spine buster goes for the pin. Folks, this could absolutely be it. But Wrestler X able to kick out at the last moment. But Giant Anaconda is measuring him. Could this be the Anaconda Coils, ladies and gentlemen? Anaconda has him. He's got him. Drops him in the Anaconda Coils. Folks, this is a deadly submission hold that has won the Fierce and Deadly Cold Snakes many tag team championships. Wrestler X is struggling. He is struggling. He cannot make it to the ropes. He's trying, but he is able to use his leverage to power his way out. Elbows Giant Anaconda in the face. That was almost it, folks. Wrestler X with a face buster goes for the pin. 1, 2, and Anaconda manages to kick out, but that was a very, very close exchange, folks. Wrestler X still on the defensive, recovering from nearly being forced to tap out to those Anaconda Coils. And look at that leverage-based suplex throw. And Wrestler X is forced to roll out to the outside and try to collect himself, but Anaconda is not going to let that happen. Flying clothesline inside the ring to out. And Wrestler X is in as much trouble as we have ever seen him in here in NWC. Half and half suplex takes Wrestler X over, slamming him onto that mat. And a body splash from Giant Anaconda. Giant Anaconda, of course, stands 6'7", using every bit of that tremendous weight. But Wrestler X fighting his way out. Manages to come around from behind. Another face buster on the knee. Wrestler X needs to chain this together into something. Series of attacks outside the ring. DDT right on the mat below. And just like that, Wrestler X is showing signs of life. And he is taking over against Giant Anaconda outside the ring. At this point, folks, I believe this could be anyone's game. Anaconda sent rolling back into the ring, clutching his head, and it looks as if, yes, Wrestler X working on those limbs, stomping on the leg there. What is he looking to do? Picks up the big man, and Anaconda stuffs him. Big time suplex. Giant Anaconda is a master of various throws and suplexes. Oh, gosh. Just takes him down with a headbutt. That might be it. Wrestler X might be completely unconscious here. If Anaconda just goes for a pin, this could be the end of the road. Oh, big splash as well. Wrestler X has been pancaked right onto the mat. Anaconda grabs him, and I believe this is it, folks. We have the Anaconda coils dead center of the ring. Referee checking in, asking Wrestler X if he wants to tap out. I don't know how he can get away, folks. He's far, far away from the ropes. Is this it? Is this the first recorded loss for Wrestler X? He is fighting with all of his might. He manages to pull himself free for the second time. He breaks the Anaconda coils, sends Anaconda to the corner, comes in with an elbow drop, follows up with a big bulldog. Anaconda is reeling, trying to make his way to the corner. Out of nowhere, X has shown signs of life and has hurt Anaconda. He has definitely rocked him. Anaconda is out on his feet. If only Wrestler X can find a way to capitalize sooner rather than later. Has him up, slams him down to the mat, and mounts him and just hammering Giant Anaconda with left hands right into the side of the mask. And Wrestler X collecting himself. Big forearm right to the side of the temple there. And again, nothing pretty about this. He has abandoned his technical game, and he is just pounding on Giant Anaconda. Gonna beat him with brawling tactics if that's what it takes. Really remarkable adaptability from the Wrestler X. And a heel hook, ladies and gentlemen. A heel hook. Is Anaconda going to be forced to tap? That is a deeply cinched in heel hook, folks. But Anaconda turns it over. Trio of punches right to the mask. Forces a break. Amazing match so far. Anaconda misses with a clothesline. And just like that, oh, would you look at that? Wrestler X has him cinched into that hold. Oh, good, he's really rearing back. And Giant Anaconda forced to tap out to that very unique submission hold by Wrestler X. What a tremendous encounter. Very solid match between these two submission-based wrestlers. And despite a powerful, relentless onslaught from Giant Anaconda, one mistake led to a compromising position, and Wrestler X has managed to stay undefeated since his debut here in NWC. Absolutely fantastic action, folks, and believe it or not, we still have quite a bit left to go. Looking at our clock, folks, we are scheduled to be here for nearly 3 hours, if you can believe it. We have plenty more action yet to come. Let's take you to our next contest. And folks, what a match we have here. Figaro of the Carnival is going to get his biggest test yet as he takes on the former NWC champion, the surgical specialist, Akira Wilde, in one-on-one competition. Now, folks, to say that Akira Wilde has had an up and down last couple of seasons in NWC would be an understatement. Ever since losing the INCW championship in the last season of INCW, Akira Wilde has struggled to put together enough wins to ascend up the ladder. He's had a couple of very interesting opportunities, but in clutch time, he has failed to be able to connect. And while he is still a dangerous competitor, Akira Wilde definitely needs to string together some victories. That is, of course, what I would have said up until the beginning of this season. Now, this season, Akira Wilde is actually 3-0. He has had 3 very interesting, surprising victories, but they have come at a bit of a controversy. There's been some question as to whether the referee has fast counted for him. There's been some interesting circumstances. But either way, a string of victories is a string of victories, and I have to think that Akira, as of late, has been showing some of the confidence of old. So perhaps, even if his gains have not necessarily all come as the result of his skills, he definitely has retaken some of that momentum and has been looking pretty good as of late. We'll see if that continues today as he faces a very, very unpredictable opponent. Now, the Carnival has certainly made its presence felt here in the second season of NWC. This BPW faction is an eclectic and strange assortment of misfits, and none epitomize that more so than Figaro the Clown. And look at him with a pair of cutting shears. Don't know what he plans on doing with that, folks. But this very unpredictable grappler is going to have his greatest test to date as he takes on the multi-time world champion. Of course, he's coming into this match with a ton of momentum himself, but he has never been tested quite like this in NWC. So we'll have to see if Figaro can rise to the occasion and take on the multi-tooled player, Akira Wilde. And we'll have to see if Akira Wilde's luck will hold out and he can increase his lead. Oh, would you look at that? Instantly Wilde going in for a clothesline, but Figaro able to block it. Comes off the ropes. Off the ropes a second time, and shoulder-to-shoulder collision by the two. But Figaro able to come around with a German suplex, kind of a Greco-plex of his own, actually, and begins taunting Akira Wilde. I don't know if that's such a good idea. And Akira answering with a Greco-plex of his own, holds on for a pin, but ends up with Figaro deep in the ropes. Now, Akira Wilde has faced a variety of opponents over the years. There's really no holes in his game, so to speak. But has he faced someone who is as big of an unknown as Figaro? Wilde, with a Greco-plex, spins Figaro around, turns him inside out with a clothesline. Wilde may have a bit of a height advantage here on Figaro. No question as to, or no telling whether that will translate into a power advantage. Figaro has shown some shocking power, explosive power in his build over his last few matches here in NWC. Figaro taking it to the braced knee of Akira Wilde, driving his knee right into the side of that brace, trying to injure that already vulnerable leg. And look at this, Figaro has the former champion by the nose and slaps him, paintbrushes him right across the cheek, and follows that up with a series of attacks. And look at this, twisting Akira's leg, working on that braced leg one more time, trying to attack the mobility of the surgical specialist. This is usually Akira Wilde's game plan, targeting limbs, surgically targeting every of the weakest parts of his opponent. And look at that flying clothesline by Figaro, taking Akira Wilde straight out of his boots. Akira fighting back outside the ring, goes for a clothesline. Figaro ducks under it and German suplexes Wilde on the floor. Goes for another one. Akira manages to elbow his way out, though. Akira stopping Figaro from gaining any sort of momentum. And look at this, outside the ring, has him up, but Figaro floats over and clotheslines the surgical specialist in the back of the neck. What is Figaro going to do? Picks Akira up and slams him knee first into the ground, working on both of those legs at this point. And Figaro taking a moment to laugh at his opponent. Don't know if that's a good idea, but then again, perhaps that is part of his mind game. Akira rolling back in the ring, taking a moment to regroup, waits for Figaro to enter back in the ring, catches him, sends him into the corner. Look at that kick to the back. What's he going to do, folks? Bounces off the rope, sliding Greco-plex, slams Figaro neck and shoulders first into the mat. And Akira has him up. Short brain buster. Second one of those of the match. Figaro's got his bell rung. Spins him around. And has him going for a dragon suplex. But Figaro stopping him using his sheer strength. Leverage throw. Takes Akira out. And Akira taking a moment to regroup outside the ring. Oh, look at that. Akira was trying to come around the edge at him. But stopped with a spear by Figaro. That'll take the wind out of you. And a leverage arm-based throw sends Akira nose over toes on the mat outside. Figaro tries to follow up, but Akira dodges out of the way and sends Figaro crashing into the barricade. And what is this? A kick to the chest. Akira Wilde trying to build a bit of momentum here. Sends Figaro into the barricade. Misses with a clothesline, but gets caught with one by Figaro, who capitalizes, sending Akira this time into the barricade. Heads back into the ring, taking a moment himself to preen for the crowd, to catch his bearings, and to cheer to soak in the adulation of the crowd. Figaro definitely magnetically has managed to gain a bit of a fan following here. Akira, what's he doing here? Has Figaro up over his shoulders and drops him jaw first on that top turnbuckle. Follows up by just attacking him in the corner. Standing all of his weight, all of his 240 pounds straight on the throat of Figaro. Akira feeling fairly proud of himself right now. And again, this has been a bit of a winning streak for him this season, but it is not without controversy. Akira Wilde, normally a fan favorite, has found himself being questioned by the fans more so than usual. Look at that! Kind of a just muscles Akira up with a no-frills powerbomb. Sends him to the corner now. Akira fights his way out. It's been very hard for Figaro to get sustained offense here. What's this? Akira slides in again. Sliding Grecoplex inside to outside. Skins the cat. And now big time clothesline. Second one. Ducks underneath. Up and drop kick to the soul of Figaro as Akira Wilde is feeling it. And starts bouncing his head off the mat like a basketball. Akira Wilde looking very good here. Figaro still a ton of fight left in him. And look at that. Figaro answers back with a dragon screw leg whip. Goes for a quick pin. 1, 2. And Akira gets a shoulder up. Figaro, a very potent fighter, but he is letting some frustration get to him here. You can see that. And yep, he is choking Akira in the corner. That is definitely not part of his original playbook. He's showing some frustration that Akira seems to be routing some of his maneuvers here. Leg drop right to the arm. And Figaro, oh, what's he doing? He's firing himself up. What is his plan here to take down the surgical specialist? Oh, look at that. Boxing the ears there with that very unique maneuver. And Akira, a little bit on the dazed side, put up on that top turnbuckle, but Akira fights his way out, but gets caught by Figaro, who sends him to the ropes. Comes back, big time power slam, holds on for the pin. 1, 2, and Akira able to muscle his way out, gets a shoulder up, and Figaro is frustrated, which is understandable. Figaro's put a lot into this. Akira hasn't quite let Figaro take command for as long of a stretch as he would like. Look at that, though. Akira stomped to his head, and the surgical specialist is definitely bleeding. But, oh no, out of nowhere, Akira with a surgical strike. Surgical strike out of nowhere, goes for the pin. We got a 1, 2, and Figaro able to kick out of the surgical strike. And Akira is beside himself. Not many people can do that. Akira kicks him in the stomach, pulls him into a dragon sleeper, says, if I can't get you that way, I'll get you this way. This could be it, folks. Figaro struggling right in the middle of the ring, held tight in that dragon sleeper. But he is refusing to tap out. He's refusing to say die. Akira really cranking on it, really cranking on it, but Figaro not letting him win. 3 shots to the side of the head. Akira stumbles away. Figaro back in this fight. Has Akira by the back of the head. What's he going to do, folks? Sends him to the ropes. Oh, goes for a drop toe hold. Misses him, though. Tries to reset. Has him on the side there. And yes, big backdrop right into the middle of the ring. Looks like there was a bit of a miscommunication there. Figaro manages. Oh, and Akira spins him around. What's he going to do? And a backdrop of his own. Akira is measuring Figaro. What does he have in store? Kick to the stomach. And drops him with a second surgical strike. Second strike in as many minutes. It looks as if Figaro may be out, ladies and gentlemen. Akira going for the pin. We've got a 1, 2, and 3. Akira Wilde with your victory today, but what a match. What a fight put up by Figaro of the Carnival. He definitely had Akira Wilde on the ropes. He was matching him move for move. And it took not one, but 2 surgical strikes to put this man, this clown, this strange and unique individual, to put his shoulders to the mat for any length of time. An impressive win for Akira Wilde, an impressive showing for Figaro. It appears that Wilde is back to his winning ways. We'll have to see what that means for him as we approach Critical Mass. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 matches left tonight, and these 2 matches have some pretty impressive championship implications. Let's take you to our next bout. Folks, as we said before, all of our major men's championships will be defended in one-on-one action at least one more time before Critical Mass, and that begins this evening. These 4 men will vie for the opportunity to be the last challenger to Rhett Holiday's PWA Heavyweight Championship prior to Critical Mass. We have the Spoiler. We have Tiger Jade. We have Richard Pennyworth. And we have the one and only returning Soviet superstar Viktor Sokolov. Yes, folks, the father of Anna Sokolov, someone who has not competed here in NWC. His last bout was in INCW prior to KB Chronic closing day-to-day operations. We will see him in action this evening. One final chance to vie for the PWA Heavyweight Championship that he once held so dear. Folks, again, this is a time of intense returns. Let's take you to ringside. Now, folks, this is going to be a 4-way battle royal. And just to remind you of the stakes, prior to NWC Critical Mass, the Supercard event that we'll be seeing 3 shows from now, prior to that, each one of our major men's titles will have one more singles defense. This will determine who goes into Critical Mass as their brand's representative champion. This 4-way dance between these 4 heavyweights and PWA luminaries, this will determine who will face Rhett Holiday in that final singles match. All 4 of these men have tremendous history at the Prestige Wrestling Association. They are all former PWA champions. We have Tiger Jade. We have the Spoiler. We have Richard Pennyworth. And we have Viktor Sokolov. Now, Richard Pennyworth III, he has not had the greatest win-loss record since re-debuting in NWC. But you have to keep in mind that this man has a tremendous history in PWA. He has had tremendous rivalries with the likes of Akira Wilde and Damian Black and many other high-profile main event stars, and he is a former holder of the PWA Heavyweight Championship. His pedigree speaks for itself, and he has one final opportunity here to return to his glory days and compete for the PWA Heavyweight Championship one more time. In order to do that, all he has to do is defeat all of his greatest rivals and show that he is still at the top of his game. He is a tremendous athlete, a tremendous technician, the best training that money can buy, But we'll just have to see if perhaps time has passed him by here, or if he still has it in him for one final run. Now, speaking of superstars who have not lost a step, here we have the Spoiler 3. The Spoiler 3 is the most recent man to hold the PWA Heavyweight Championship prior to Rhett Holiday getting it, and he was not pinned or submitted to lose it. He lost it in a very controversial ladder match. Rhett Holiday took that title from him, and Spoiler is still steaming mad about it, despite the fact that the rivalry between Sanctum and FU by mandate of NWC has concluded. The Spoiler is very interested in getting some revenge. He would love nothing more than to earn a shot at taking that title that he feels he never, ever should have lost. So the Spoiler and Rhett Holiday, their only chance to face each other again is for Spoiler to win this match. And ladies and gentlemen, a man that needs no introduction, a former NWC champion, a former PWA champion, a former NWCW champion, a former INCW champion, a man who is known for holding multiple titles at the same time. Viktor Sokolov has simultaneously defended the INCW and PWA championships. He has held them both at the same time and defended them across companies. Most recently, he has sired an heir to his throne in Anna Sokolov, his daughter. But Viktor Sokolov is still a tremendously dangerous individual, and it is fascinating. It is amazing to see him in the ring one more time. Folks, the referee has rung the bell, and we are underway. This is a four-way dance. These competitors will be under elimination rules, and the only way to win this match is to be the last man standing. Richard Pennyworth coming over the top rope, big clothesline to Viktor Sokolov. Spoiler is outside the ring right now with a set of stairs that he's put back in there. Now, folks, again, this is Battle Royal rules. Pinfalls or submissions are the only ways to eliminate people. We will keep on going until all but one man have been eliminated, and that man will earn the right to face Rhett Holiday next week. Oh my goodness, Viktor Sokolov hung up in the ropes badly, while Richard Pennyworth just delivered a huge drop kick from across the ring. And look at this, Spoiler hammering Viktor Sokolov square in the chest. Tiger Jade, knee to the gut of Spoiler. There's going to be a lot of action here, folks. I apologize. I will not be able to call it all efficiently. Spoiler sends Tiger Jade over the top rope, hammers him with his fists, trying to send him down to the floor below. But Jade fires back with a right hand, comes off the top rope with a big clothesline. And outside the ring, Viktor Sokolov and Richard Pennyworth are going at it, two old rivals. Pennyworth taking it to the Giant Russian. Looks like we've paired off, at least for the moment. Now, of course, Tiger Jade and Spoiler. Oh, look at this. Tiger Jade's going for a pin. 1, 2. Spoiler kicks out. These two have a bit of a rivalry here. The entire reason that Tiger Jade has taken on this new persona is because the Spoiler stole Tiger Gold's mask. And despite the fact that Tiger Gold won it back from the Spoiler, he declared that it had been defiled by the Spoiler's dishonorable tactics and that he could not don it again. And that is why he ended up with this new mask and this new persona that many say has been for the worse for him. Tiger Jade, as he is now called, has been just a dastardly individual, hurting his opponents, not doing honor to his legacy at all. But you've got to think that despite all of that, he must still hold a huge grudge against the Spoiler and would love nothing more than to pin his shoulders to the mat for being responsible for tarnishing his reputation the way that he has. Tiger Jade goes for the spoiler. Spoiler knees him out of it, though. And Viktor Sokolov right there. Oh, look at that double noggin knocker as Tiger Jade sends Spoiler and Sokolov into each other's heads. Oh, and look at that. Tiger Jade going to take a bit of a powder there. Doesn't want to be left alone with Viktor Sokolov. Oh my goodness, from the other side of the ring, Richard Pennyworth, a flying shoulder block, takes down the spoiler, and now all four men are fighting outside the ring on opposite sides. Spoiler with a double underhook suplex. On the other side of the ring, Viktor Sokolov with a huge clothesline that turns Tiger Jade inside out. And what's this, folks? Sokolov has Jade up and, drops him shoulder first on top of his knee. I thought that was going to be the Dominator, but instead he turned it into a shoulder breaker. On the other side of the ring there, you have Richard Pennyworth really making a solid going of taking out the spoiler, and then just eats a huge boot by Tiger Jade. Again, folks, there is so much action here, it's very hard to call it all, but you're seeing a highlight reel of signature maneuvers from these high-caliber athletes. Inside the ring, Viktor Sokolov waiting for an opponent. And look at that. Spoiler taken down with a double Russian leg sweep by both Richard Pennyworth and Tiger Jade. Again, folks, very hard for me to keep track of all of the action taking place here. All four of these men know what is at stake, the chance to, for one final time, vie for the PWA Heavyweight Championship in a standard one-on-one match. Sokolov sent into the ring by Richard Pennyworth. Pennyworth follows him in, but Sokolov out the other side. What's he doing here? Sokolov, he's got hardware. He's holding up a set of stairs and slams it right into the face of Richard Pennyworth. On the other side of the ring, you see Tiger Jade taking a big boot and just collapsing the head and chest of Spoiler. And now Tiger Jade sends Viktor Sokolov into the ring. Also delivers a low basement dropkick to Richard Pennyworth. Sokolov's going to be able to take a bit of a rest here, take a bit of a breather inside the ring, call to the crowd, and enjoy the adulation. And look at that, Poison Rana on Richard Pennyworth by Tiger Jade. Tiger Jade has Pennyworth up on his shoulders and just drops him with a hard right hand. Sokolov, tired of waiting, comes back out to get him some of his. Richard Pennyworth, though, with a Russian leg sweep as the spoiler sends Tiger Jade into the ring. And look at that big inverted suplex and a huge clothesline by Viktor Sokolov. Drop kick by the spoiler. Fireman's carry on the spoiler by Jade. Follows it up with a huge punch. Viktor Sokolov, a knee to the gut of Tiger Jade. Turns him around and teams up with Richard Pennyworth for a double suplex on the masked man. Spoiler sent into the ring. Sokolov sent in right after him. We have Spoiler and Sokolov in the middle of the ring. Outside the ring, Tiger Jade, Hurricane Rana on Richard Pennyworth. Sokolov firing away at the spoiler. Richard Pennyworth, big time DDT on, oh my goodness, big time slam on spoiler by Viktor Sokolov. Meanwhile, Richard Pennyworth really opening up on Tiger Jade. Sokolov coming around with a set of stairs. What's he going to do? Stairs to the face of Richard Pennyworth. All four of these men are just pulling out all of the stops. There are bodies littering this landscape, and right now, Spoiler standing tall. Pennyworth sent into the ring. And at this point, folks, all four of these men have absorbed a tremendous amount of damage. I couldn't tell you who has the advantage at this point. All four of these wrestlers are really making a showing for themselves, doing their PWA legacy proud. And again, this match will not finish until 3 of these 4 men have either been pinned or submitted. Victor Sokolov just taking Richard Pennyworth's head off with a huge hooking clothesline. And look at this, the spoiler double claw on the sides of the head of Tiger Jade. Victor Sokolov sends Tiger Jade flying and then sends the spoiler back into the ring. Sokolov is the only man standing. Ooh, Richard Pennyworth with a beautiful arm drag suckers in. Victor Sokolov takes him over. At this point, folks, this is anybody's game. Pennyworth chopping Victor Sokolov's legs out from underneath him. And spoiler sent back into the ring. Tiger Jade stalking him. This has been a wild outside the ring brawl. All 4 of these men have taken a tremendous amount of damage. Sokolov sent rudely into the barricade. As far as who is at the greatest advantage in a match like this, it is hard to tell. Victor Sokolov, Spoiler, and Tiger Jade excel at hardcore tactics, at extreme style matches that take them all over the arena. The only one really out of his element here is Richard Pennyworth, someone who truly seems to excel in a mat-based game. Here we have Spoiler and Pennyworth, actually everyone except for Tiger Jade in the ring right now. Sokolov punches his way out of an attack, and for the first time in a while, Spoiler and Sokolov, 2 men, are inside that ring. Outside the ring, though, look at that huge... Oh, inside! It looks as if... Yes! Dominator on the Spoiler from Victor Sokolov. 1, 2, and a shoulder up. Wow, somehow the Spoiler able to get a shoulder up. Victor Sokolov with that gigantic Dominator. But at this point, Spoiler is hurt. Oh, goodness, he has Spoiler up in a torture rack. Torture rack here on the Spoiler. Spoiler, who has eaten a Dominator recently. Spoiler is fighting it to the best of his ability. And outside the ring, we have the cash advance as well. Cash advance by Richard Pennyworth on Tiger Jade. As Spoiler fights his way out, is Jade going to be forced to tap? All 4 of these men back in the... Well, it spoke too soon. Sokolov back to the floor one more time. And look at this. Tiger Hammer on the Spoiler, who already ate a Dominator. 1, 2, and that is all she wrote. Spoiler survived the Dominator, but he couldn't also take the Tiger Hammer. We are down to 3, ladies and gentlemen. The Spoiler is going to be seething all the way back to the locker room. Pennyworth and Tiger Gold in the ring right now. And what is Sokolov doing? Sokolov has a steel chair. Side slam on Pennyworth. Oh, and he just cracks the chair over Tiger Jade's head. And again over the back of Richard Pennyworth. Victor Sokolov is a man possessed. He is... Oh, Pennyworth able to, with a heads-up move to kick that out of the way. Goes for a... Oh, it looks like he was trying to hang on for a small package, but he's got Sokolov anyway. 1, 2. Oh, my goodness. Out of nowhere, Richard Pennyworth with a small package into a pin, and he's able to take out Victor Sokolov, but Tiger Jade cracks his back, and Pennyworth, wow, I thought that was just about it. An opportunistic Tiger Jade tried to take out Richard Pennyworth after Pennyworth managed to eliminate Victor Sokolov. Folks, that is a huge win for Richard Pennyworth, but did that take out everything that he had? Tiger Jade, again, trying to finish this off, was going for that Tiger Hammer, but Pennyworth fights his way out of it, Is this Richard Pennyworth's night? Has Pennyworth gone through everything he has in NWC only to finally succeed here when he needed it the most? He has pinned Victor Sokolov, which is an amazing feat, even under the best of circumstances. But knowing what kind of a losing streak that Pennyworth was on, that is especially impressive. Oh my gosh, big drop kick. Tiger Jade bounces his head off of that chair. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Pennyworth may have this. This could be his night. Tiger Jade, though, what's he doing? Heading outside. Pennyworth. Oh, he collides with Pennyworth in midair. Huge missile off the top rope. And Richard Pennyworth is hurt, folks. He is hurt. It took all that he had to get Sokolov up and down, and running power slam on Richard Pennyworth. Tiger Jade is feeling it. Pennyworth appears to be out. Big time leg drop. 1, 2, and 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Pennyworth tried to rally. He eliminated Victor Sokolov, which is a huge moral victory for him. But at the end of the day, too much was taken out of him. The smallest man in the match absorbed just too much damage. And Tiger Jade has won this match. Folks, that means that the PWA Championship will be contested Rhett Holiday versus Tiger Jade next week. And the winner will enter Critical Mass as the last PWA Heavyweight Champion. My goodness, you can see Pennyworth out there just really taking in how close he came to victory. Wow, what a tremendous match, ladies and gentlemen. Tremendous match. And we're not even done yet, because, folks, our main event is next. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a long time coming. 4 years in the making, this match. For the first time ever in NWC, the Northwest Championship Wrestling Championship will be under contention. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing encounter here between two rivals that have been at each other's throats for nearly half a decade. This is not the first time that these two have met in the ring, but this may be the last. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you NWCW's heart and soul, the War Master. This absolutely electric individual has been the beating heart of Northwest Championship Wrestling for years. He has carried that banner, traveling around the nation, defending the honor of NWCW. He has fought for that championship multiple times. He has not been successful as of yet, but I have never seen him looking more impressive. Folks, again, those of you who've never seen him before, this is the War Master. He is a huge fan favorite. This crowd knows exactly who he is, and he has one final chance to see NWCW Championship gold. But in order to do that, he's going to have to take on the man he has never been able to defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the reigning, defending Northwest Championship Wrestling champion, Average Joe. Now, folks, this competitor needs no introduction. Average Joe has plied his trade across PWA, across INCW. He has taken this title, this hard-won NWCW championship, and paraded it around every organization this side of the Mississippi. This man here is a proud champion, and he has held on to that title for 4.5 years. He has been undefeated during that time, traveling around the nation, standing up for and parading around the glories of Northwest Championship Wrestling. Now, he hasn't always kept this title under the most honorable of means. He's certainly fought his share of dirty bouts, but by hook or by crook, Average Joe has hung on to this gold strap longer than any current champion that we have here represented in NWC. And his greatest rival, the War Master, will have one final chance to wrest this title from his grasp before it is unified at NWC Critical Mass. This is an amazing bout, folks. This is why we are here tonight. This is what the National Wrestling Council is all about, showcasing the best wrestlers from the organizations around the world, and we are proud to be able to show you what NWCW is all about. The third leg of the National Wrestling Council, standing right alongside INCW and PWA. Tonight, you will get to see what the two greatest stars of NWCW can do. And whoever wins this match will go on to NWC Critical Mass, representing NWCW, as they attempt to unify that title with the PWA, INCW, and NWC World Championships. This is the last time that the NWCW Championship will be defended one-on-one outside of Critical Mass. Average Joe knows what is at stake here. He hands the title to the referee, shows it to the War Master. War Master knows this is the final chance he is ever going to have to lay his hands on that belt. Folks, I have goosebumps. Referee rings the bell, and we are underway. And immediately the War Master with a running, flying DDT, followed by a big basement drop kick and a clothesline that takes Joe inside out. I think Joe was caught off guard, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. And folks, remember, this is a championship match. That means, oh my God! Average Joe taking over the top rope. What is the War Master doing? Flies over the top rope, misses entirely. Average Joe sidesteps it and crushes his sternum with his ample-sized posterior. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this match has started at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and it is showing no signs of slowing down. Average Joe outside the ring, just taking it to the War Master. And ladies and gentlemen, again, remember, this is a championship bout. All championship bouts in NWC are 2 out of 3 falls. The winner is the man who can either pin or submit his opponent twice. Average Joe has the War Master up. What's he going to do? Smashes him kidneys first into that barricade using his absolutely impressive strength. Average Joe, again, a series of strikes, but War Master firing right back out. Folks, this is like the last time they fought. It's as if they haven't missed a beat. Years can pass with these two having no contact, and then the second that bell rings, it's like their previous match never stopped. Average Joe has the War Master up. Brain buster right in the center of the ring. Stomping him down and dropping that elbow. I have never seen Joe move so fast, folks. Joe is fighting with a purpose. Joe's sizable, near 400-pound bulk, moving like he's a cruiserweight. But War Master takes advantage of a mistake. Big suplex. How in the world is this man able to whip this huge weight around? 1, 2. Average Joe kicks out. Folks, this match has been amazing. Oh, would you look at that series of strikes by the War Master. War Master, I have never seen him larger, ladies and gentlemen. He is looking huge tonight. Average Joe has him up. Tremendous power. Slams him straight to the mat, just rudely, just about breaking his neck there. That was a bad angle that he landed at, folks. And Joe just coming in with the nerve pinch, too, trying to slow this thing down. Joe is going to be best off in this match if he can slow the pace down. Warrior moves like a bolt of lightning. Joe can work fast, but he definitely operates better when he can slow the pace down. Puts a boot to the guts of the War Master and a running drop kick. And look at that trash talk from Average Joe. Joe has the War Master, and oh my God, would you look at this? Oh, goes for a gorilla press, but War Master able to punch his way out of it, and a huge backdrop. Folks, these wrestlers are they are moving so fast. They are wrestling so intensely. I almost can't follow this action. War Master, DDT right in the middle of the ring. Joe definitely hurting here, but Joe able to roll out of the way. Big time clothesline to the War Master. And begins to go to work on the legs. If he can take the legs out from underneath this dynamic individual, if he can slow him down somehow, then he might be able to get to begin dictating the pace of this match. War Master forced to roll to the outside as he tries to collect himself. And what the hell is Joe doing? Average Joe on the top. Shoulder block from the top rope. A 400-pound missile dropping 16 feet straight into the heart of the War Master. Joe with a big capture suplex takes War Master down. Sends him back into the ring. Wants to finish this thing right in the center of the ring. What's it? Looks like Joe's going to try for some sort of a pin. No. What's he doing here? Oh, attempts for a stomp, but War Master fights his way out and lands a huge clothesline. War Master sends Average Joe to the back and whips him back. Hip toss. War Master has him up, slams him knee first into the mat. Average Joe is looking like he's in a little bit of trouble here, but remember, no one has dropped a fall yet. War Master calling to the crowd, calling his little warriors, but eats a huge kick from Joe. Just gets his head taken off, but the War Master's hand is in the rope. That might have been it, ladies and gentlemen. Average Joe sends him to the far corner, runs in, body splash, 400 pounds just crushing the lungs of the War Master as Average Joe calls to the crowd, taunting them really. Joe has never been a crowd favorite, and they would love nothing more than to see this forever reign end. Big capture suplex on the War Master. Goes for the pin again. 1, 2, and oh my goodness, out of nowhere, War Master able to reach that bottom rope. Joe is beside himself. He was sure he had him there. And you know if the War Master has to reach for the rope, you know he must have been in deep trouble. War Master definitely seen better days now as Average Joe hammers him down. Has him up and just hammers him down again. Drags him to the center of the ring here. And this is the pace that Joe wants to work this match at. Stomps him again. And ladies and gentlemen, Thigh Master. He's got the Thigh Master on him, just sandwiching his head between those massive thighs of his. Average Joe is going to squeeze the air out of the War Master. The War Master is able to fight his way out. Joe sends him to the ropes. Oh, misses with a body splash, some sort of a saber attack. But look at that, big time throwing power bomb. Oh my goodness, Joe is out. But War Master is stalking him. What's he gonna do? Up once again, goes for a second power bomb. Joe slips out the back. But War Master maintaining control. A shot to the solar plexus sends Joe to the ropes, and Joe is out. He is out, outside the ring on the ground. Referee brings in the count, and yes, folks, during these falls, you can win by count out. I misspoke earlier. It's pinfall, submission, or count out. But I don't think either of these men has any intention of letting it come to that, because these two rivals want to face each other. They want this to end in the ring. Look at that. Giant power slam. 1, 2. And just like that, we have our first fall. The War Master with an incredible power slam has pinned Average Joe's shoulders to the mat. Joe is now in a hole. War Master needs one more pinfall, submission, or countout, And that championship, which has eluded him his entire career, will be his. But there is a lot of fight left in the NWCW champion, though, let me tell you that. But at this moment, though, Joe is on the mat, picks War Master away. War Master trying to collect himself, but what's Joe doing? Oh my goodness, sit out, powerbomb. Average Joe back on his feet. He knows that he is in dire straits at this point. He knows that he is one fall away from losing this championship that has defined his entire career. And the War Master only one fall away from achieving that which has eluded him for the last 5 years. Joe, reeling, War Master sends him into the corner. Comes in. Oh, my goodness. Oh, War Master is tied up in the corner. He went for a kick, but then able to kick Joe out, and Joe sends him to the ropes. Oh, my goodness. The damnedest German suplex that I've ever seen. Huge suplex. Joe has him up. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? The War Master, just slams him rudely to the mat. And War Master is forced to go outside the ring and regroup for a moment. Oh, and he eats a huge bulldog from the NWCW champion. And Joe is just rubbing him face first into the mat. Disrespect from the arch rival of the War Master. Joe dropping his entire weight on the back, on the spine of War Master. Picks War Master up, slams him knee first into the ground. Going to work on those limbs. If he can prevent War Master from being able to run, from being able to use his momentum, that is going to force this match into Joe's wheelhouse. Average Joe has War Master up, slams him down. What is he going to do? Oh my goodness, no! War Master has been smashed into the mat. 1, 2... And somehow the War Master able to get a shoulder up. Oh my goodness. Joe has no idea how he's managed that. Average Joe, big clothesline to the War Master, trying to find some way to put this man away. War Master is a fighter possessed. Big time power slam. Is that it, ladies and gentlemen? 1, 2. Average Joe gets a shoulder up. War Master taking it to Joe, slams him down, big smashing fist right into his chest. And look at this, he's got Joe up, but Joe slides out of the powerbomb attempt. Sends War Master to the ropes, goes for a powerbomb, but instead a shoulder-to-shoulder collision. What's he going to do here? Just slams him hard into the corner there. And Joe, again, just with the disrespect, rubbing him face first into the mat. He's determined to defeat the War Master in body and in spirit. Look at him. Joe just taunting to the crowd, letting the War Master know that this is his match now. This is his championship. This is his forever reign that will continue till the end of time. Look at this. He's got the War Master up in the air and just drops him stomach first on that mat. Dragging him to the center. Stomping him right in the spine. Coming off the ropes. Oh my gosh, a huge 400-pound splash. And that is it. Average Joe has pinned the War Master. We are now 1 fall apiece. It is anyone's game. Does the War Master have anything left, or has Joe found a way to make this match his own? Right now, it is all Joe, and oh my goodness, he's going for it again. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is it. This is it. Oh! War Master gets his knees up! War Master gets his knees up, and he is still alive! Folks, I thought that was it! Clothesline takes Joe out of his boots. Were he wearing any boots? Big time leg drop off the side. Elbow drop. Average Joe is in trouble. War Master is alive. A second leg drop. Joe, oh my goodness, Joe managed to dodge it. Hits War Master, and the two roll to the floor. This is the damnedest match that I have seen in a very long time, folks. These guys came at this. They started this at 100 miles per hour. Oh, look at this. Big time choke slam outside the ring by Joe on the War Master. Sends War Master in. Is that the final maneuver? War Master is unconscious in the middle of the ring. Joe is telling him that he never had what it took to beat him. Picks him up by the hair, throws him across the ring. Average Joe is relentless. He doesn't just want to beat the War Master, he wants to injure him. He wants this to be the last match that the War Master has ever. Oh my goodness, 400 pounds straight onto the chest of the War Master. War Master desperately fighting back, but can't catch Joe. But the War Master sends him to the ropes. Ducks underneath. Big time power slam. Joe is being rocked. It's still anybody's game. The War Master is still alive here. But Joe hits him in the gut. What's he going to do? Picks him up. Brain buster in the center of the ring. Elbow drop by Joe. I do not know how the War Master is still alive, ladies and gentlemen. Average Joe has smashed him into that mat, has crushed him under his 400 pounds. War Master expended so much energy to get that first fall, and he has not been the same since. War Master, kick to the stomach, sends Joe to the corner. High knee into the corner. War Master still alive, showing some fire, kicking Joe in the corner. Stomping on him. My goodness, I am out of breath, ladies and gentlemen. This match has been everything we hoped it would be, and the War Master firing back, not letting Joe run away with this thing. Like two boxers in the 12th round, these two are exhausted. What have they got left? War Master just trying to put something together. Joe trying to put away his arch rival once and for all. War Master sends Joe to the ropes. Look at the power slam. Huge power slam. That's how he got the first fall, folks. 1, 2, and 3. Ladies and gentlemen, history has been made. The NWCW Championship has changed hands. The arch rivals, War Master, has defeated his nemesis, Average Joe. After a 4.5-year title reign, the NWCW Championship is in new hands. Folks, I am beside myself. The War Master is the winner. Average Joe has fallen, and everything you thought you knew has changed. My God, look at the War Master. He is beside himself. This is truly the moment of his career, hoisting the NWCW Championship high in the air over his rival. And for the very last time, these two have fought, and the War Master, the heart and soul of Northwest Championship Wrestling, has wrested the championship from the villain. My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I am out of breath. What a fantastic show we had this evening. We saw history made in more ways than one. And the War Master is your new NWCW champion. We now know the first of our 3 champions that will definitely make it to the NWC Critical Mass Supercard. Of course, Gordon Ramsay's already going to be there, but now the War Master will join him. We will still now see a PWA representative and an NWC World Championship representative joining those 2 men in this exciting Supercard event. And folks, that is it for this evening. I hope you have enjoyed your time here at NWC Tonight. At nearly 3 hours, this is the longest edition of this show that we have yet seen. But we needed it, folks, because coming up soon, coming up in 2 more shows, is NWC Critical Mass. We've got a lot of moving parts, a lot of chess pieces to put where they need to be to make sure we can give you the best show possible. And remember, Critical Mass will be a 3-night event. So if you've been sleeping on NWC Tonight, or if you've gotten frustrated at our admittedly spotty distribution schedule, get ready. You've got some really great stuff coming. So once again, thank you very much for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.